Chen Fan, a member of the prominent Chen family in Jiangzhou, found himself forced into an arranged marriage by his grandfather. To curry favor with a powerful figure, his grandfather insisted that Chen Fan marry the man's already pregnant granddaughter, effectively making Chen Fan a scapegoat. Outraged, Chen Fan decisively severed all ties with the Chen family. It was at that moment his system awakened. 3 months later, as Chen Fan, now the richest man with countless assets under his control, stood at the pinnacle of success, the members of the Chen family were filled with regret. They knelt before him, weeping and begging for forgiveness, hoping he would return to the family. Unfortunately, it was far too late. Belated affection was utterly worthless. Chapter 1, on the first day of severing ties, rewarded with 1 billion. Congratulations, cousin. You've scored yourself such a beautiful wife for free. Not only is she gorgeous, but she is also from a top-tier family. What an incredible deal for you, I'm so jealous. Chen Fan had just returned from school when his second cousin, Chen Hayu, greeted him with a cheerful smile and heartfelt congratulations. Chen Fan was puzzled. Chen Hayu, the student council president at Jiangzhou University, had always been at odds with him. Why the sudden change in attitude? Something was off. Xiao Fan is back. Get ready, the engagement is the day after tomorrow, announced his grandfather, Chen Shanhai, breaking the silence. Engagement? Who's getting engaged? Chen Fan asked, baffled. You are, Chen Shanhai explained. I found you the perfect wife. You'll get engaged the day after tomorrow, and the wedding will be held in 2 months. Grandpa, Chen Fan tried to protest. The wife I've chosen for you is from the prestigious Xu family in Jinling, Chen Shanhai interrupted, his face lighting up with reverence and admiration. To become in-laws with the Xu family of Jinling was a dream come true for him. At that moment, footsteps approached from outside. A tall, stunningly beautiful young woman entered, flanked by several attendants. However, there was a hint of arrogance and sharpness in her demeanor. Miss Xu is here, Chen Shanhai exclaimed, immediately smiling as he greeted the woman. The young woman replied with a slight nod. Xiao Fan, let me introduce you. This is your fiancée, Miss Xu Junyao, Chen Shanhai said, turning to Chen Fan. Chen Fan looked at Xu Junyao, sensing that something about her wasn't quite right. It didn't take long for him to realize why her stomach was slightly swollen. Noticing Chen Fan's gaze, Xu Junyao made no attempt to hide it. Instead, she admitted with pride, I'm already pregnant, and the child belongs to my idol. Moreover, I won't be getting rid of this child. I'll be giving birth to it. Hearing her candid admission, Chen Shanhai's expression darkened. The reason the prestigious Xu family of Jinling would agree to marry their daughter into his family was now clear: it was because she was pregnant. Since Xu Junyao had conceived out of wedlock, the Xu family patriarch had no choice but to find someone to marry her and claim the child as his own. While visiting the Xu family, Chen Shanhai had eagerly offered his grandson, Chen Fan, as the candidate. Watching Xu Junyao's proud expression and then glancing at Chen Fan, Chen Hayu couldn't suppress a gloating smile. Chen Fan's face turned ashen. His grandfather wanted him to marry a woman already carrying another man's child. Xiao Fan, it's just a child. A real man should be responsible. Don't let this bother you, said his aunt, Chen Yuzhen, trying to persuade him. Once Miss Xu gives birth, the child can take your surname. Treat the child as your own, it's no big deal, Chen Shanhai explained. Before he could finish, Xu Junyao sneered and disdainfully interrupted, the child take his surname. Impossible. My idol's child will never take his surname. He is not worthy. The child will take my idol's surname. After the engagement, he'll change his last name to Qin. Also, he'll obey whatever I say without complaint. And despite our engagement, he is not allowed to touch me. I'll also be traveling to the capital twice a month to see my idol, and he can't have any objections. Xu Junyao laid out numerous conditions for Chen Fan. Even Chen Shanhai's expression changed. It was excessive, to say the least. However, to form an alliance with the Xu family, Chen Fan would have to endure it. Xiao Fan, Miss Xu's conditions aren't that unreasonable. Just bear with it, said Chen Shanhai. Chen Hayu, Chen Yuzhen, and several other relatives chimed in with similar sentiments. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Xiao Fan. Don't miss it. If you agree, you'll reach the top overnight by marrying Miss Xu. Hearing this, Chen Fan's anger grew. A year ago, after his parents' mysterious disappearance, he had been treated poorly by the Chen family. Without his parents, Chen Fan had cherished the remaining family ties, enduring his relatives' excessive behavior again and again. But they only became more brazen, leaving him increasingly disheartened. Today, they expected him to endure this humiliation and accept being a scapegoat. Enough was enough. If this marriage is such a great deal, why don't any of you marry Miss Xu instead? Chen Fan retorted. How dare you speak like that, Chen Fan, his aunt Chen Yuzhen scolded. Are you even a member of this family? Chen Shanhai asked coldly. If you still consider yourself part of the Chen family, you must agree to this marriage. At that, Chen Fan chuckled bitterly. A member of the Chen family. You've all treated me as anything but family, pushing me into the fire pit. In that case, I don't need to be a Chen family member anymore. From this moment on, I sever all ties with the Chen family. Chen Fan's declaration left the room in stunned silence. No one, not even Xu Junyao, had expected this. Chen Fan, what nonsense are you saying? If you sever ties with us, we'll take back everything. You'll become penniless. Without the Chen family, you'll be nothing but a lowly pauper. The Chen family members berated him angrily. This is your last chance, Chen Shanhai warned icily. Retract your words, or when you regret it later, you won't be able to come back. I'll never regret it. Chen Fan said firmly. Without hesitation, he grabbed a pen and paper, drafted a declaration of severance, and signed his name. Sign it, he said, placing the document in front of Chen Shanhai. Furious at his defiant grandson, Chen Shanhai snatched the pen and signed his name in a fit of rage. HMPH. He won't last 3 days. Once he has spent all his money, he'll come crawling back. 3 days. I bet he'll be begging to return in less than 2. Without the Chen family, he'll be worse off than a commoner. The Chen family members mocked and sneered. To them, Chen Fan severing ties was a blessing in disguise. With him out of the picture, there would be more inheritance to go around. Taking the signed document, Chen Fan said coldly, from now on, I have nothing to do with the Chen family. As his words echoed, a mechanical voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding! On the first day of severing ties, you are rewarded with 1 billion. At that moment, his phone buzzed. Chen Fan checked the screen. Your account ending in 5169 has been credited with 1 billion yuan. Balance, 1 billion yuan. Chapter 2, a reward worth billions. Chen Fan held his breath as he looked closely. 10 billion yuan. It was really 10 billion. In an instant, he had transformed from a college student with just over 300 yuan in his account to a billionaire with assets totaling 10 billion yuan. This system was incredible. Just moments ago, he had been worrying about having to work part-time after severing ties with the Chen family to cover his living expenses. But in the next second, the system awakened, and he directly gained 10 billion yuan in assets. Awesome. Grandfather, since Chen Fan has already severed ties with our family, we should take back everything from him, his phone, his bank cards, and so on. As for the clothes on his back, we can let him keep those so he doesn't end up naked on the streets. Second cousin Chen Hayu wasted no time in kicking him while he was down. That won't be necessary. Doing that would make the Chen family look petty. Besides, I bet his bank account doesn't even have 500 yuan in it. After all, his monthly allowance is only 800 yuan. Aunt Chen Yuzhen sneered as she spoke. Only 800 yuan. Even Chen Hayu seemed surprised at this. The Chen family was one of the most prominent families in Jiangzhou. The younger generation of the family typically had monthly allowances in the tens or even hundreds of thousands of yuan. And yet, Chen Fan, a member of this family, had a mere 800 yuan per month less than many ordinary college students. Not even 500 yuan. Hearing Chen Yuzhen's comment, Chen Fan couldn't help but sneer internally. If she were to see the balance in his bank account right now, he wondered what expression she would have. Since you're no longer part of the Chen family, get out. Chen Yuzhen scolded him harshly. Chen Fan's abrupt decision to sever ties with the family had disrupted all of Chen Shanhai's plans, leaving him furious. As Chen Fan prepared to leave, a sudden voice stopped him. Wait. Under the puzzled gazes of everyone present, the young lady of the Xu family, Xu Junyao, stepped forward with a peculiar expression. I didn't expect you to have such backbone, daring to sever ties with the Chen family outright. Xu Junyao stared at Chen Fan. Here's the deal. Marry me. If you can make me happy, I might actually consider marrying you for real in the future. I'm giving you this chance, so get on your knees and thank me. Chen Fan's decisive action had earned him a sliver of admiration from Xu Junyao. Someone like you? You can find someone else from the Chen family to marry you. Chen Fan replied flatly. He had zero interest in Xu Junyao. Not to mention, Chen Fan already had a girlfriend. Even if he didn't, this situation wasn't something he would accept. Hearing his rejection, Xu Junyao's face turned icy. I'm offering you an opportunity that countless people dream of, and you dare reject it. Her tone grew colder. Even if you've severed ties with the Chen family, they are still your former relatives, so they might not go too far against you. But we, the Xu family, are different. If you dare defy me, your fate will be miserable. Very miserable. Oh, and about your so-called girlfriend, do you really think she loves you for who you are? Xu Junyao added cryptically. Before she could finish her words, the system sent Chen Fan a new challenge. Challenge: bankrupt the Xu family. Reward: ownership of Lingxiao Capital Group, worth 100 billion yuan, making you a billionaire. Chen Fan was stunned as he read the system notification. As long as he bankrupted the Xu family, he would gain ownership of Lingxiao Capital Group, valued at 100 billion yuan, catapulting him into the ranks of the super rich. This mission was incredible. If you agree, I can even make the entire Chen family kneel and apologize to you, regretting ever severing ties with you. Xu Junyao's voice interrupted his thoughts. At this moment, Chen Shanhai and the rest of the Chen family grew increasingly nervous. If Xu Junyao truly made them kneel and apologize, they wouldn't dare refuse. All of them, including Chen Shanhai, silently prayed that Chen Fan wouldn't agree. If he did, the Chen family's reputation would be utterly ruined. Seeing Chen Fan's silence, Xu Junyao assumed he was tempted. A smug, victorious smile spread across her face. Interested? Interested, my ass. If you're interested, you can go for it yourself. Chen Fan retorted without hesitation. Xu Junyao was stunned. She couldn't comprehend how Chen Fan had the audacity to reject her once again. She had given him such a generous offer, a real chance to marry her. Yet, not only did he fail to express gratitude, but he outright refused her. Unbelievable. If I want the Chen family to kneel and apologize, I don't need your Xu family's help. I can do it myself. With those words, Chen Fan turned and walked away confidently. This guy is interesting, Xu Junyao muttered, a strange look in her eyes as she watched him leave. As she walked out, she ordered her subordinates, arrange a meeting for me. I need to see someone, a very special woman. After leaving the Chen family's estate, Chen Fan decided to hail a taxi. Traveling without a car is really inconvenient, he muttered to himself. Previously, he didn't own a car because he couldn't afford one. But now, with 10 billion yuan in his account, things were different. Just as he was pondering this, the system chimed in once more. Ding! Challenge issued: buy a luxury car for yourself. Time limit: 3 hours. Reward: a top-tier villa in Jiangzhou. Chapter 3: Acquiring the most luxurious mansion in Jiangzhou. Buying a car? This task works for me. Chen Fan's eyes lit up. Just as he was planning to purchase a car, the system issued a mission like this. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. Moreover, buying a car for himself while earning a top-tier mansion in Jiangzhou as a reward. This was an incredible deal. Without hesitation, Chen Fan hailed a taxi and headed straight for the Lamborghini 4S dealership in Jiangzhou. When he walked into the showroom, he was immediately approached by a beautiful saleswoman. Hello, sir. How can I assist you today? What cars do you have in stock? I'm looking to buy one right now, Chen Fan said, aware that the system had given him only 3 hours to complete the task. He needed to act fast. In stock. The saleswoman hesitated for a moment and then explained, well, sir, we do have a few cars available, but purchasing them requires an additional premium. Money's not an issue, Chen Fan replied nonchalantly. Time was of the essence, not money. All right, this way, please, the saleswoman said, her face lighting up with a smile as she led Chen Fan to view the cars. Sir, this is our top-of-the-line model currently in stock, the Lamborghini Aventador, commonly known as the Lambo Bull among enthusiasts, she introduced him to an awe-inspiring supercar with striking visual appeal. It's Lamborghini's flagship supercar, featuring a new V12 engine, a maximum horsepower of 700, and a full carbon fiber monocoque body. That's enough. I'll take it, Chen Fan interrupted decisively, exuding wealth and confidence. Chen Fan was already familiar with the Lamborghini Aventador, one of his favorite supercars. Back when he was still part of the Chen family, his uncle had gifted his cousin a Lamborghini Huracan, a smaller model known as the Lambo Calf, after the cousin was accepted into a top 3 university in the country. The sight of that car had left Chen Fan and the other younger Chen family members envious. Even Chen Haoyu, the cousin who had mocked Chen Fan earlier, only owned a Porsche 718 worth around 800,000 yuan. Compared to the Aventador, the Huracan itself was a lesser car, let alone the Porsche. Sir, this Lamborghini Aventador, fully equipped with top-tier customizations, costs approximately 11.79 million yuan, plus an 800,000 yuan premium, for a total of 12.59 million, the saleswoman explained. However, since it's your first purchase here, I can waive the small change, bringing the total down to just 12 million. No problem, Chen Fan agreed. After signing the contract, Chen Fan paid the full 12 million yuan on the spot and became the proud owner of a fully customized Lamborghini Aventador. As soon as the purchase was finalized, the system chimed in. Ding! Task completed, purchase a luxury car for yourself. Reward, a top-tier villa in Jiangzhou, Villa number 8 in Yujing Mountain Estate valued at 65-80 million yuan. Seeing the system's reward, Chen Fan was both shocked and thrilled. Yujing Mountain Estate was renowned as the most luxurious and prestigious villa district in Jiangzhou, home to the city's elite. Villa number 8 was the largest and most opulent property in the entire state, often referred to as the crown jewel of Jiangzhou. This villa had been eyed by many top figures in Jiangzhou, but the estate's developer had gifted it to a mysterious VIP, leaving all other contenders empty-handed. And now, this legendary villa was Chen Fan's. In just a few hours, Chen Fan had gained a luxury car, a mansion, and a net worth of nearly 10 billion yuan minus the cost of the car. Breaking ties with the Chen family had proven to be the best decision ever. Under the envious gazes of the Lamborghini dealership staff and customers, Chen Fan drove his new car straight to Yujing Mountain Estate. Half an hour later, he arrived at the estate, where staff members were already waiting outside Villa number 8 with documents in hand. Excuse me, are you Mr. Chen Fan? One of the staff asked politely. That's me, Chen Fan replied. The staff handed him the ownership contract, and after verifying its details, Chen Fan signed it. From this moment on, the most luxurious mansion in Jiangzhou was officially his. The staff then gave Chen Fan a brief tour of the villa. The property covers over 1,590 square meters. The front door is a custom-made die-air armored door, resistant to bullets and explosives. The villa boasts 11 bedrooms, 3 living rooms, a gym, a study, a private wine cellar, a home theater. Everything you could imagine in a luxury home, this villa had it. The interior decoration alone had cost over 30 million yuan. Even Chen Fan, who had seen his fair share of luxury during his time with the Chen family, felt a sense of disbelief. This wasn't just a villa, it was a palace. After the tour, the staff left, leaving Chen Fan to explore the villa on his own. That evening, he called for a private chef to deliver his dinner. The estate's annual maintenance fees exceeded 1 million yuan, including 24-hour service from chefs poached from 5-star hotels, who acted as personal cooks for the villa residents. After a restful night in his new home, Chen Fan had breakfast and set off for school in his new car. As he drove past Villa number 9 next door, he noticed a stunningly beautiful figure stepping out. For a moment, Chen Fan froze. He had an uncanny feeling he had seen this person before, but the figure disappeared too quickly for him to be sure. Later that morning, after class, Chen Fan went to meet his girlfriend, Song Manyu, a fellow sophomore. Just as he was about to tell her about cutting ties with the Chen family, Song Manyu spoke coldly. Chen Fan, let us break up. Chapter 5. Xie Ruoshui took the initiative to ask Chen Fan out, my beautiful CEO neighbor. On the other side, after getting out of the car, Xie Ruoshui also noticed Chen Fan standing in the distance and was also a little surprised. Boss Xie, I didn't expect that we would meet again. Chen Fan greeted. Mr. Chen. Xie Ruoshui nodded slightly. Boss Xie, what are you doing? Chen Fan asked curiously. Oh, I live in villa number 9. Xia Ruoshui explained. Xia Ruoshui lives in villa number 9. It turns out that she is her neighbor. I live in villa number 8. We will be neighbors from now on. Chen Fan spoke. Live in villa number 8. Xia Ruoshui immediately looked at Chen Fan in surprise, and her expression showed some emotion for the first time. It is said that the owner of villa number 8 is a mysterious big shot. Could it be Mr. Chen? Xia Ruoshui guessed in her heart. After speaking briefly with Chen Fan, Xia Ruoshui returned to the villa. After putting down her bag, Xia Ruoshui looked through the window and saw Chen Fan, who was still in the yard. She couldn't help but feel curious. What is the identity of this Mr. Chen? In the evening, after dinner, Chen Fan was looking at his mobile phone. Ding dong. There is news. Mr. Chen, do you have time? Let's take a walk in the villa area together. The message was sent by Xia Ruoshui. Chen Fan was very surprised when he saw this message. Xia Ruoshui was well known for her cold personality in Jiangzhou, but this time she actually took the initiative to ask him, a boy she just met, to go for a walk. This is not normal. Chen Fan guessed that Xia Ruoshui might be looking for him because of something. Chen Fan replied that he happened to have nothing to do, and he was also very curious about what Xia Ruoshui wanted to say to him. 10 minutes later, the two sides met in front of the villa. After saying hello, both sides walked forward together. As the first villa area in Jiangzhou, Yujing Villa is built at the foot of the mountain. It has excellent greening and beautiful scenery. After walking for a while, Xia Ruoshui finally got straight to the point. I wonder how much Mr. Chen spent to buy the financial building. Hearing Xia Ruoshui's question, Chen Fan asked back. Why did President Xia suddenly ask this? Mr. Chen, I won't beat around the bush. I want to buy the financial building from Mr. Chen. No matter how much money Mr. Chen spends, I will give him an extra 300 million. How about that? Xia Ruoshui went straight to the point. After all, it is the location of their company. It would be more reassuring to buy it directly than to rent it. 2 years ago, the company was facing various crises, and Xia Ruoshui could not come up with so much working capital in one go. Recently, the company has been thriving, and she was too busy to pay attention to this issue. It was not until this afternoon when she heard that Chen Fan had bought the financial building that Xia Ruoshui thought of this issue. Mr. Xia, I'm sorry, I don't plan to sell the financial building for the time being. Chen Fan shook his head. Logically speaking, Xia Ruoshui offered an extra 300 million yuan, so the price was not low, but the problem was that the financial building was Chen Fan's first and only industry so far. After selling it, Chen Fan would have no other assets left, only money. That's a shame. Xia Ruoshui was a little disappointed. So, if Mr. Chen wants to sell the financial building one day, can you contact me first? Xia Ruoshui changed her thinking. That's no problem. Chen Fan nodded in agreement. The two were walking and talking, when at this moment, a black fierce dog suddenly rushed out from a corner ahead. Woof woof woof. This fierce black dog was not on a leash, and it rushed straight towards Xia Ruoshui and Chen Fan with its teeth bared. Seeing this scene, Xia Ruoshui's face turned pale and she panicked. Xia Ruoshui was about to turn around, but in her anxiety, the heel of her right high-heeled shoe suddenly broke. Xia Ruoshui fell to the right. At this moment, Chen Fan was standing on her right side, and Xia Ruoshui fell directly into Chen Fan's arms. Chen Fan subconsciously hugged Xia Ruoshui's soft and boneless waist. In an instant, Chen Fan felt an indescribable softness. Soft jade in the arms. Compared to the panicked Xia Ruoshui, Chen Fan was very calm. At the critical moment, he kicked the fierce dog that was rushing towards him hard. After being kicked by Chen Fan, the black fierce dog screamed and took a few steps back. Woof woof woof. Although it did not move forward, the fierce black dog still stood there, barking at Chen Fan and Xia Ruoshui, as if it was unwilling to give up. Who dares to hit my son? A slightly plump middle-aged man ran over quickly. You hit my son. The slightly plump middle-aged man angrily scolded Chen Fan. Your son? Chen Fan asked. It's my son, what's wrong? The slightly plump middle-aged man asked back. Oh, your son is a dog. Chen Fan spoke slowly. You? The slightly plump middle-aged man became furious instantly. You hit my son. You need to take him to the hospital for a checkup. If there is any problem with him, I will make you pay for it. Also, you have to bow and apologize to it. The slightly plump middle-aged man looked at the fierce dog with great distress and threatened Chen Fan in a harsh voice. Sir, you were the one walking your dog without a leash. If things get out of hand, you will be held responsible according to the public security punishment law. At this time, Xie Ruoshui also calmed down. She came out of Chen Fan's arms awkwardly and spoke seriously to the slightly plump middle-aged man. Har har, what kind of public security punishment law is this? It's of no use to me. The slightly plump middle-aged man looked fearless. Those who can live in Jiangzhou are either rich or noble, and the identity of this slightly fat middle-aged man is probably also very unusual. Who are you to threaten me with some kind of public security punishment law? The slightly plump middle-aged man asked back. I'm Xie Ruoshui, the president of Xie Group. Xie Ruoshui replied coldly. Xie Ruoshui, are you Xie Ruoshui from Xie Group? After knowing Xie Ruoshui's identity, the slightly fat middle-aged man's face changed slightly, but he still said arrogantly. Har har, others may be afraid of you, the Xie Group, but I am not. Today, if this kid doesn't bow and apologize to my son, the matter will not end. The slightly plump middle-aged man looked at Chen Fan and said with a firm attitude. Hearing this, Xie Ruoshui sneered. You're not afraid of me, so aren't you afraid of Mr. Chen? This kid. I don't care who he is. Even if he is the king of heaven, he has to apologize to my son now. The slightly plump middle-aged man looked indifferent. Mr. Chen is the owner of Villa number 8 in Yujing Villa. Xie Ruoshui said slowly. For a moment, the expression on the slightly plump middle-aged man's face froze, and his body couldn't help but tremble. He is the owner of the legendary 8 Villa. The slightly plump middle-aged man swallowed hard and looked at Chen Fan in astonishment. I am the owner of Villa number 8. What's the matter? Is there a problem? Chen Fan asked back. After receiving a positive answer, the slightly plump middle-aged man almost felt dizzy and fainted from fright. Mr. Chen, I was wrong, I was blind and offended you, it's all my fault. The next second, the slightly plump middle-aged man's attitude towards Chen Fan changed 180 degrees. He repeatedly bowed to Chen Fan and apologized with an extremely humble attitude. Chapter 6 Xie Ruoshui's Secret, Close Contact. The owner of Villa number 8 is a legendary top boss. He absolutely cannot afford to offend a big shot of this level. Facing the plump middle-aged man who was arrogant at first but respectful later, Chen Fan was a little surprised. He didn't expect that the identity of the owner of Villa number 8 in Yujing Villa was so intimidating. Who is the previous owner of Villa number 8 in Yujing Villa? Why, you don't want me to apologize to your son? Chen Fan asked back. Mr. Chen, it's my fault. It's my fault. Who are you? How can you apologize to this thing? I didn't use a leash when I was walking my dog. I didn't recognize the real man. I bumped into you. It's all my fault. The slightly plump middle-aged man apologized repeatedly. It's nothing for me, the main thing is that you scared Mr. Xie. Chen Fan looked at Xie Ruoshui beside him. Oh. The slightly plump middle-aged man immediately understood and bowed to Xie Ruoshui to apologize. Boss Xie, I was the one who walked the dog without a leash. You were right to teach me a lesson. It's all my fault. I apologize. I will never walk my dog in the villa area again, and I will never scare Mr. Xie again. I promise. Finally, the slightly plump middle-aged man made repeated assurances. Mr. Chen is handsome and elegant, and Ms. Xie is beautiful. They are a perfect match. Zhao interrupted your date. I was blind. Afterwards, Zhao will come to apologize in person. The slightly plump middle-aged man said again in a flattering tone. The slightly plump middle-aged man mistook Chen Fan and Xie Ruoshui for a couple who went out on a date. Xie Ruoshui was about to correct him when the slightly plump middle-aged man spoke again. Mr. Chen, this is my business card. Please accept it. As he spoke, the slightly plump middle-aged man took out a business card made of gold and handed it to Chen Fan respectfully with both hands. His business card is made of more than 20 grams of gold. The value of the gold in this business card alone is more than 10,000. Chen Fan took the business card and took a look at it. Chairman of Jiangzhou Qianbai Industrial Group Zhao Linyang. Qianbai Industrial Group. Chen Fan had some impression of Zhao Linyang. The assets of Qianbai Industrial Group seemed to be around 10 billion, which was much less than that of Xie Ruoshui's Xie Group. The reason why the slightly plump middle-aged man was not afraid of Xie Ruoshui was mainly because he was the top figure in Jiangzhou. Sun Yongtai's brother-in-law. Sun Yongtai is a big shot in Jiangzhou. If he stomps his feet, the ground will tremble. Zhao Linyang relies on his identity as Sun Yongtai's brother-in-law, and almost no one in Jiangzhou dares to mess with him. Mr. Chen, if you need my help in the future, please feel free to ask me. I will definitely be willing to listen to your instructions. Zhao Linyang, a slightly plump middle-aged man, wanted to take this opportunity to make friends with Chen Fan, the owner of Villa No. 8. Chen Fan nodded and put the business card away. By the way, when Mr. Chen and Mr. Xia get married, Zhao will definitely prepare a generous gift to congratulate them. Goodbye, Mr. Xia, goodbye, Mr. Chen. I am sorry to disturb your world of two. Goodbye. After saying that, the slightly plump middle-aged man left quickly. Xie Ruoshui didn't breathe a sigh of relief until the slightly plump middle-aged man left with the fierce dog. Mr. Chen, thank you for what you did just now. Xie Ruoshui looked at Chen Fan, full of gratitude. The fierce dog suddenly rushed over just now, and Xie Ruoshui panicked. If it weren't for Chen Fan, she almost fell down. And without Chen Fan, she really didn't know how to face such a fierce dog. You don't have to be so polite. Chen Fan spoke. Boss Xia, are you afraid of animals like dogs? Xie Ruoshui's performance just now was a bit too exaggerated. Xie Ruoshui explained, I was bitten by a dog when I was a child, and I have always had a psychological trauma. I am very afraid of dogs, especially large and fierce dogs. So that's how it is. Chen Fan nodded, and Xie Ruoshui's behavior just now made sense. Mr. Chen, can you keep it a secret that I'm afraid of dogs? Xie Ruoshui said in a low voice. The president of the Xie Group is actually afraid of dogs. If this matter gets out, it will not be good. Besides her family members, Chen Fan was the first outsider to know the secret that she was afraid of dogs. No problem. Chen Fan agreed. Mr. Chen, let's go back. After saying that, Xie Ruoshui turned around and wanted to go back, but just as she took a step, she suddenly gasped and her body involuntarily tilted to the side. Chen Fan quickly grabbed Xie Ruoshui's arm and supported her. Boss Xie, what's wrong with you? Chen Fan asked. My heel just broke, so my foot must be crooked. Xie Ruoshui looked at her slightly red and swollen ankle and said helplessly. How about I take President Xie to the hospital? Chen Fan suggested. That's not necessary. I have a medicine box at home. I can just apply some blood circulation and pain relief ointment when I get home. Xie Ruoshui shook her head. In that case, I will help President Xie go back. Chen Fan supported Xie Ruoshui and walked forward. As a result, after taking just 2 steps, the expression on Xie Ruoshui's face became even more painful and she couldn't move at all. For a moment, the two of them stood there awkwardly. Well, if you don't mind, Mr. Xie, how about I carry you back? Chen Fan asked tentatively, this should be the best solution at the moment. Not good. After hearing what Chen Fan said, Xie Ruoshui's face suddenly turned red. She had never been hugged by a man before, so she was naturally embarrassed. But Mr. Xie, can you insist on going back? Chen Fan asked. After hearing what Chen Fan said, Xie Ruoshui fell silent. It was just a minor injury and it could be healed by applying some medicine. If she continued to walk, the injury would definitely get worse. By then, she would probably have to rest for a long time. What will happen to the company if she takes a break? And it's not far from home. Okay, then I'll trouble you, Mr. Chen. Xie Ruoshui gritted her teeth and agreed. After saying that, Xie Ruoshui closed her eyes embarrassedly. Chen Fan picked up the boneless Xie Ruoshui in a princess hug. In an instant, a faint fragrance wafted into Chen Fan's nose. And Xie Ruoshui, who was in Chen Fan's arms, couldn't help but feel her heart beating faster and her face burning hot. This was the first time she had such close contact with a boy. She had been studying all the time in school, and after graduating from university, she went directly to work in a company and had never been in a relationship. At this moment, in Chen Fan's arms, Xie Ruoshui's mind was a little confused and blank. Chen Fan went towards Xie Ruoshui's villa. A few minutes later, the two arrived at their destination. Xie Ruoshui, in Chen Fan's arms, entered the password to the villa's door. Chen Fan carried Xie Ruoshui into the villa. Walking into the living room, Chen Fan was just about to put Xie Ruoshui on the sofa when suddenly, a scream was heard. The next second, on the stairs on the second floor, a beautiful girl who looked 70% similar to Xie Ruoshui but younger opened her mouth wide and looked at Chen Fan and Xie Ruoshui in astonishment. What is going on between my sister and this boy? Oh my god, is this something she can watch at her age? So exciting. Chapter 7. Everyone in the Chen family was surprised that Chen Fan hadn't knelt yet. Sister, I'm sorry to bother you. The pretty girl spoke quickly. Just pretend I didn't see anything, just continue. After saying that, the beautiful girl turned around abruptly and quickly ran back to her room on the second floor. But after returning to the room, she did not close the door. Instead, she quietly peeked through the crack in the door, staring with her big eyes full of curiosity at the downstairs, her little face full of curiosity. Xie Mengmeng, stop peeking and go to my bedroom and get the medicine box. Xie Ruoshui shouted. All right. After hearing what her sister said, Xie Mengmeng had no choice but to come out of the room obediently and go to get the medicine box. 2 minutes later, Xie Mengmeng came down from upstairs. Sister, I'm really going back to my room this time. You and brother-in-law, continue. I won't disturb you. Xie Mengmeng said seriously with her little face. Brother-in-law? When Xie Ruoshui and Chen Fan heard how Xie Mengmeng addressed Chen Fan, they were both embarrassed. Mengmeng, what are you thinking about every day? This is Mr. Chen, my neighbor. I just sprained my ankle and Mr. Chen carried me back. Xie Ruoshui explained. Is that so? Xie Mengmeng looked at Xie Ruoshui's slightly red and swollen feet, and an embarrassed expression suddenly appeared on her face, and she stuck out her tongue. Compared to the mature and intellectual Xie Ruoshui, Xie Mengmeng is more lively and playful. Sister, let me help you apply the medicine. Soon, with the help of Xie Mengmeng, Xie Ruoshui applied the medicine on her ankle, and the situation got slightly better. I think it should be ready tomorrow and won't affect my work. Xie Ruoshui breathed a sigh of relief. By the way, Mr. Chen, I forgot to introduce you. This is my sister Xie Mengmeng. Xie Ruoshui suddenly remembered that she had not introduced her sister to Chen Fan yet, so she spoke immediately. I was wondering why she looked familiar to me. I seem to have seen her before. Chen Fan said. Have you seen me? Xie Mengmeng looked at Chen Fan with curiosity. Yes, aren't you the campus beauty of Jiangzhou University? Chen Fan nodded. Seeing Chen Fan say this, Xie Mengmeng's eyes widened immediately. Although she didn't like the title of school beauty, she knew him very well. How do you know that? Oh, I'm a sophomore at Jiangzhou University. Chen Fan spoke. Hearing what Chen Fan said, Xie Ruoshui and her sister were extremely surprised. Chen Fan's answer was something none of them had expected. Sophomore student. Mr. Chen is so young and promising, is he only a sophomore? This is so amazing. Xie Ruoshui felt deeply moved. When she was a sophomore, she was far inferior to Mr. Chen. For a moment, Xie Ruoshui felt a little admiration for Chen Fan. So it's the senior. Xie Mengmeng also greeted him. She was a freshman at Jiangzhou University and she didn't expect to meet a sophomore here. The two parties got to know each other and exchanged contact information. Thank you so much Mr. Chen for tonight. Xie Ruoshui said sincerely that if Chen Fan had not been here tonight, there would really be a lot of trouble. After talking to the Xie Ruoshui sisters for a few words, Chen Fan left. On the other side, in the Chen family villa, several core members of the Chen family came. It's the second day, and that bastard Chen Fan didn't come back to beg for our forgiveness. Second cousin Chen Haoyu said in disbelief. I think Chen Fan still has 300 to 400 yuan in his bank card, which is enough to live for 3 or 4 days. It's only been 2 days, so it's reasonable that he hasn't come back. Aunt Chen Yuzhen spoke. I'm sure that in 5 days at most, Chen Fan will come to us crying and beg for our forgiveness and return to the Chen family. Chen Yuzhen said with great faith. 5 days is too long. I guess 4 days at most. Chen Fan, this bastard, actually dared to cut off relations with us. When he comes back to beg us, we must humiliate him severely and let him know that he is nothing in the Chen family. That's right. When he was a member of the Chen family, he could still get by in the outside world. But now that he has severed ties with our Chen family, he is just a waste and trash in the outside world. When he is penniless and can only beg on the street, he will know how good our Chen family is. At that time, I think Chen Fan would. Everyone in the Chen family was discussing how poor and miserable Chen Fan's life would be in the future. But Mr. Chen, who was sitting there, couldn't wait any longer. He originally thought that the little bastard Chen Fan would come back crying today and kneel down to beg for forgiveness, but he didn't expect that there was no news about Chen Fan until now. He had promised Miss Xu that it would only take 2 months for Chen Fan to marry her willingly. Time was running out. No, he's going to add fuel to the fire. Hayu, you are also at Jiangzhou University. Tomorrow, go find Chen Fan. Chen Shanhai looked at Chen Hayu. Chen Hayu was stunned for a moment, then suddenly realized. I understand, Grandpa. I will definitely take good care of Chen Fan tomorrow. Chen Hayu nodded. Isn't Grandpa's intention to let me cause trouble for Chen Fan, force Chen Fan to be more difficult, and make him go back to the Chen family obediently? It's no big deal. Time flies. At noon the next day, Chen Fan was waiting for someone in front of the school cafeteria. A few minutes later, Song Manyu and her best friend Han Yinger walked towards the restaurant together. Hey, Manyu, isn't that your boyfriend Chen Fan? Han Yinger pointed at Chen Fan, who was not far away, and said. Let me correct you. It's my ex-boyfriend. I was blind before and that's why I chose him as my boyfriend. Song Manyu spoke seriously. Yes, it's my ex-boyfriend, but why is he standing in front of the restaurant? Is he waiting for you? Han Yinger guessed. The words of her best friend were the same as what Song Manyu had guessed, so Song Manyu came to Chen Fan angrily and said in an extremely cold voice. Chen Fan, you and I have already broken up. There is no way we can get back together. If you still have any shame, stop pestering me. Unless you return to the Chen family, or become a billionaire, otherwise, even if the sky falls, we can't be together again. We broke up, and you're standing in front of the restaurant door to beg for my forgiveness. What a childish move. Ridiculous. Song Manyu's words immediately attracted the attention of the students entering and leaving the cafeteria. Is there something exciting to watch? All of a sudden, more and more people gathered around. Hearing Song Manyu's words, Chen Fan shook his head helplessly. Why is she so confident? And sorry, he does have tens of billions at the moment, although it's a little less, only a few billion, but this is when the reward for the 3rd day of severing ties has not been issued yet. Let me correct you. I'm here to wait for someone else, not for you, and certainly not to ask for your forgiveness. Chen Fan answered calmly. Waiting for someone else. Who else can you wait for besides me? Stop lying to yourself. Song Manyu didn't believe what Chen Fan said at all. But before Song Manyu could finish her words, a clear voice was heard. Senior Chen is waiting for me. The next second, a beautiful figure walked over. Chapter 8. On the 3rd day after the severance of relations, the reward was 10 billion shares of the group. A girl's voice. Seeing that someone actually refuted her, Song Manyu turned her head away with a look of disdain. She just didn't believe that there would be any girl willing to have dinner with Chen Fan even though he had already severed ties with the Chen family. Even if there is, he or she must not be that good looking and cannot compare to me. However, when Song Manyu turned her head and saw the girl walking towards her, she was stunned for a moment. She couldn't believe her eyes. Not only Song Manyu, but everyone else at the scene was also stunned when they saw the girl coming over. They must be dreaming. The visitor was none other than the famous campus beauty of Jiangzhou University, Xia Mengmeng. Song Manyu's appearance can only be considered as a class beauty. Among ordinary girls, she is considered very beautiful. But if she stands next to Xia Mengmeng, she will be lost in the crowd and look very ordinary. Senior Chen, I'm really sorry to have kept you waiting. Let's go eat together. Xia Mengmeng came to Chen Fan and said a little embarrassedly that the teacher had delayed the class a little and she was a few minutes late. Seeing this scene, everyone was even more confused. What's going on? Why would Xia Mengmeng make a date with an ordinary-looking boy to have dinner together? Incredible, this is incredible. You know, although Xia Mengmeng is only a freshman, she has attracted countless boys because of her beautiful appearance and smart personality, including various tall, rich and handsome men, student union presidents of other departments, and so on. But no matter how outstanding the boy was, he could not get even a little favor from Xia Mengmeng. But now, why would Xia Mengmeng make an appointment to have dinner with a boy? This is so abnormal. The most shocked person at the scene was Song Manyu. At this moment, she finally believed what Chen Fan had just said was true. Chen Fan was indeed not waiting for her, but for Xia Mengmeng. Compared with Xia Mengmeng, I am nothing. But this made her even more angry and even more unbelievable. I just broke up with Chen Fan, and right after that, Chen Fan hooked up with the school beauty. Why is this happening? Where does Chen Fan get such strength? Could it be that Xia Mengmeng didn't know that Chen Fan had severed ties with the Chen family? Song Manyu guessed. Yes, that is very likely the case. Just as Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng were about to enter the school cafeteria, Song Manyu quickly spoke. Xia Shuahua, you don't know that Chen Fan has severed his relationship with the wealthy Chen family. The current Chen Fan has nothing to do with the Chen family. Even if you are with Chen Fan, you can't marry into the Chen family. Song Manyu looks like a good person who wants to expose Chen Fan's conspiracy and rescue the kind-hearted Xia Mengmeng from Chen Fan's scam. Really? However, contrary to Song Manyu's expectations, Xia Mengmeng behaved extremely calmly. I really don't know anything about Senior Chen's relationship with the Chen family. Xia Mengmeng said indifferently. And even if Senior Chen severed ties with the Chen family, so what? Do you think I would care? After hearing what Xia Mengmeng said, no one dared to refute it. It was said that Xia Mengmeng also had a strong background, probably not inferior to the Chen family. This. Song Manyu was stunned on the spot. Not everyone is like you. Finally, Xia Mengmeng said something meaningful to Song Manyu and then went into the school cafeteria with Chen Fan. Song Manyu stood there, digging her toes into the ground, wishing she could find a hole to crawl into, feeling extremely embarrassed. Hateful. Song Manyu clenched her fists, feeling even more resentful towards Chen Fan. She really couldn't understand why Xia Mengmeng, a school beauty with such a powerful background, would get together with Chen Fan. This is not normal. A deep jealousy surged up from the depths of Song Manyu's heart. Chen Fan must have used some other means to deceive the kind-hearted Xia Mengmeng, so Xia Mengmeng defended Chen Fan like this. No, she must find a way to break up Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng and let Xia Mengmeng see the true face of Chen Fan, the waste. Song Manyu was planning in her heart. On the other side, Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng also bought lunch and found a corner to sit down. Senior Chen, how did you and my sister know each other? After sitting down, Xia Mengmeng stared at Chen Fan with her big cute eyes, like a curious baby. Before, she took the initiative to send a message to Chen Fan and ask Chen Fan to come to the cafeteria for dinner. As for the reason, it was very simple. She just wanted to find out from Chen Fan about the relationship between Chen Fan and her sister. Although my sister explained last night that she had nothing to do with Chen Fan, Xia Mengmeng only believed part of it. She believed what her sister said, that her sister and Chen Fan were not lovers, but she didn't believe that they were just ordinary friends who had just met. She knew her sister Xia Ruoshue's cold personality. If she didn't have a little affection for Chen Fan, even if her ankle was injured, no matter how serious the injury was, her sister would never agree to let Chen Fan carry her back to the villa. Therefore, Xia Mengmeng guessed that the relationship between her sister and Chen Fan must be complicated. This piqued the interest of Xia Mengmeng, who was very curious. I am the owner of the downtown financial building, and Mr. Xia's company rented my financial building. Chen Fan replied. Xia Mengmeng asked several questions in a row, but Chen Fan's answers did not give her any unexpected gains. Chen Fan and her sister were indeed like ordinary friends. These two people are very tight-lipped. Xia Mengmeng complained quietly in her heart. But the more normal it looks, the more fishy it seems, and she will not give up. After the two had dinner, when Xia Mengmeng learned that Chen Fan had no classes in the afternoon and was going back to the villa, she immediately asked for a ride with Chen Fan as she was going to her sister's house. Chen Fan agreed, and Xia Mengmeng went to the university dormitory to get some things first, and the two parties agreed to meet at the school gate. Chen Fan went to the parking lot to drive first. On their way to the parking lot, the system's voice rang in Chen Fan's ears. Bite. On the third day after the severance of relations, he was rewarded with 12% of the shares of the billion group Tinfei Group, becoming the third largest shareholder of Tinfei Group. Chen Fan's eyes immediately lit up. Unexpectedly, on only the third day, the system rewarded me with shares of a billion-dollar group. I went from being an abandoned young man of a wealthy family to the third largest shareholder of a billion-dollar group. This reward was really timely. I am currently lacking in industry. Tinfei Group, one of the large companies in Jiangzhou, is very powerful and has a market value of over 10 billion. The system rewarded him with 12% of the shares of Tinfei Group, which, conservatively estimated, is 1.2 billion. Including the previous ones, his net worth has now exceeded 3.5 billion. In just 3 days, his net worth increased from a few hundred yuan to more than 3 billion. This speed of increase is too fast. Before, Chen Fan had no idea. The system's challenge to bankrupt the Xu family had a deadline of 100 days. At the current speed, it seemed that it wouldn't take that long for him to crush the Xu family under his feet. That's really good. While thinking, Chen Fan came to the school parking lot, but before he entered the parking lot, an unexpected figure suddenly appeared. Chapter 9 Important Discoveries. This person was none other than Chen Fan's second cousin, Chen Hayu. At the same time that Chen Fan discovered Chen Hayu also discovered Chen Fan. "Hey, I didn't expect to meet you here." Chen Hayu had a playful smile on his face. He and his friend had just returned to school and were preparing to go find trouble with Chen Fan and attack Chen Fan as his grandfather had instructed. Unexpectedly, they met in the parking lot. What a coincidence! It saved him from wasting time looking for Chen Fan. "Brother, do you know who this is?" Chen Hayu looked at the 3 or 4 younger brothers beside him and asked proudly. "Isn't this Chen Fan? He is Brother Yu's cousin, right?" The younger brothers answered in a low voice. "You are wrong. This is my former cousin. The current Chen Fan has taken the initiative to sever ties with our Chen family. He and I have nothing to do with him anymore." Chen Hayu said loudly. "What? He took the initiative to sever ties with the Chen family? Is he crazy?" "That's right, is there something wrong with this kid's brain?" The younger brothers looked at Chen Fan as if he was crazy. They dreamed of becoming children of wealthy families, but when it came to Chen Fan, he took the initiative to sever ties with the wealthy family. Who would do this unless he was mentally ill? "How is it, Chen Fan? It should be the third day since you severed ties with our Chen family. Do you regret it?" Chen Hayu asked proudly. "I regret it. Har har. Cutting off ties with your Chen family is the best decision I have ever made in my life." Chen Fan also answered with a smile. In the past few days since he severed ties with the Chen family, his net worth has skyrocketed by more than 3 billion, and this is only the third day. His net worth will increase more and more until it exceeds that of the Chen family, and even that of the Xu family. Moreover, even if the incident with the Xu family had not happened, according to Chen Fan's status in the Chen family, he probably would not have gotten any share of the property. Take Chen Hayu for example. Although he is very arrogant now, he is actually an ordinary person among the younger generation of the Chen family. When the Chen family divides their property in the future, even if Chen Hayu gets a lot, it will not exceed 1 billion. Har har, Chen Fan, just keep talking tough. Chen Hayu sneered. He didn't believe Chen Fan's nonsense. It's the most correct choice, how ridiculous. You have severed ties with our Chen family. Now you probably can't even take out 1,000, no, even 500 yuan. You have become a real poor bastard. How pitiful. Chen Hayu spoke with disdain. By the way, Chen Fan, thanks to you, Grandpa bought me a new car. See, my new car, the Maserati Gran Turismo, costs over 2 million. How about it? Are you envious? Chen Hayu pointed at a brand new sports car next to him and showed off to Chen Fan. Chen Fan glanced at Chen Hayu's Maserati Gran Turismo and walked deeper into the parking lot without saying anything. You say, is it stupid for Chen Fan to sever ties with our Chen family? Chen Hayu asked his younger brother. Of course. This is not ordinary stupidity. There is not a single person in the world as stupid as this. The younger brothers quickly agreed with Chen Hayu. You, Chen Fan, have severed ties with our Chen family. In this life, you won't be able to drive a luxury car worth more than 2 million yuan. You probably won't even be able to drive a broken car worth $500,000. Chen Haiyue watched Chen Fan leave and thought that Chen Fan was scared, so he shouted loudly on purpose. But before he finished his words, the next second, Chen Fan got into his Lamborghini worth more than 10 million yuan, which was parked deep in the parking lot, and started the car. Seeing this scene, Chen Haiyue was so shocked that his jaw dropped. This Lamborghini?" Chen Haiyue said with a trembling voice. "Is he hallucinating? This is a top-of-the-line luxury car with a landing price of more than 10 million. Compared with it, my Maserati is nothing compared to it." Chen Haiyue gritted his teeth and slapped himself hard. Bang! A crisp sound was heard, and Chen Haiyue felt a sharp pain on his face. He was not dreaming, nor was he hallucinating. Even Chen Haiyue was like this, not to mention his younger brothers. At this moment, Chen Haiyue's younger brothers were so frightened that they were speechless. Then, in front of Chen Haiyue's shocked gaze, Chen Fan slowly drove past him in a Lamborghini worth more than 10 million yuan. How could this happen? How could this happen? Chen Haiyue was confused. In his imagination, after severing ties with the Chen family, Chen Fan's situation would become worse and worse, and he would become penniless and destitute. How come Chen Fan is now driving a luxury car worth tens of millions, such as the Lamborghini Termini? Even the most outstanding cousin from the eldest uncle's family among the younger generation of the Chen family doesn't have such a luxury car. What's going on? How come Chen Fan is getting better and better after leaving the Chen family? This is unreasonable. Especially when he thought about how he had just mocked Chen Fan and showed off his Maserati in front of Chen Fan, Chen Haiyue felt his face burning. This time, he was really embarrassed. Standing there, Chen Haiyue was completely confused, while Chen Fan came to the school gate, picked up Xia Mengmeng, and the two went straight to the villa in Yujing. On their way there, Chen Fan received a call from Jing Xingde, the president of Tongfei Group. Jing Xingde first congratulated Chen Fan on becoming the third largest shareholder of their Tongfei Group, and then invited Chen Fan to visit the group when he had time so that the two sides could get to know each other. "Well, let's put it this way, Mr. Zhen. I'll go over there tomorrow afternoon." Chen Fan thought about it and decided. "Okay, Mr. Chen, we have an appointment. Let's meet at the group tomorrow afternoon." Both parties agreed on the time and place. More than half an hour later, Chen Fan arrived at Yujing Villa. Xia Mengmeng said goodbye to Chen Fan and went to her sister Xia Ruoshui's villa next door. After Chen Fan parked the car, he returned to his own villa. Chen Fan happens to have some free time today, so he wants to study his system carefully. 10 minutes later, Chen Fan made an extremely important discovery. Chapter 10. Everyone in the Chen family was shocked when they learned about Chen Fan's current situation. It seems that his system can be upgraded. In an instant, Chen Fan became excited. It was great to be able to level up. Now the system's various rewards are very generous, so after the upgrade, won't the rewards be even more terrifying? Just when Chen Fan was surprised, the system's voice came. Byte. Whether to enable upgrade mode. Yes. No. What will happen after the upgrade system is turned on? Chen Fan asked. Once the upgrade mode is turned on, the system will reward different amounts of experience points in addition to normal rewards when issuing tasks, depending on the difficulty of the tasks. When the experience points reach a certain amount, the system will upgrade to a higher level. After the system upgrade, the value of the system daily rewards and task rewards will increase several times, or even 10 times. Several times, or even 10 times. After listening to the system's explanation, Chen Fan's breathing became a little rapid. You know, after he severed his relationship with the Chen family, the system's daily reward has reached about 10 billion. If the system can be upgraded, wouldn't the daily rewards become billions or even more? This is too horrible. And this is only after upgrading to level 1. If I can upgrade to level 2 or even level 3, then the daily reward would be over 10 billion. With a terrifying reward of tens of billions every day, it would be a piece of cake to trample the Jinling Xu family underfoot. It is even possible that Chen Fan could ascend to the throne of the world's richest man within a few years, or even shorter, and become the richest man in the world. If I turn on the upgrade mode and fail to complete the task, will there be any punishment? Chen Fan asked cautiously. Won't. The system's voice came. Chen Fan made a decision instantly. Start upgrade mode. Once the upgrade mode is turned on, his future life will become more exciting. As long as Chen Fan works hard, the speed at which his net worth increases will be terrifying. By then, not to mention crushing the Jinling Xu family with his wealth, even crushing the number one family in Daxia and standing at the top of Daxia would not be impossible. Moreover, even if the task is not completed, the system will not impose any penalties. Turning on the upgrade mode is absolutely beneficial with no disadvantages. Fortunately, I discovered the system upgrade mode today, otherwise I would have suffered a huge loss. Byte. System upgrade mode on. Current system level, level 1500, requires 1500 experience points to upgrade to level 2. The system's voice came again, and Chen Fan successfully started the upgrade mode. 1500 experience points to level up, not a lot. Chen Fan muttered softly. Now I am in the level 1 system, and the daily reward is 1 billion. If I upgrade to level 3, level 4, or even higher levels later, how terrifying will the daily reward be? Chen Fan's heartbeat accelerated for a moment. At this moment, Chen Fan suddenly received a message. Chen Fan picked up the phone and saw that it was a message from Xia Mengmeng. She was going to Xia Ruoshui's Xia group and asked Chen Fan if he wanted to go with her. Just as Chen Fan was thinking, the system's voice came. Byte. Temporary mission released. Agree to Xia Mengmeng to go to Xia group together and visit your own financial building by the way. Task time, 2 hours. Task reward, one of the world's top watches, limited to 7 pieces worldwide, a Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime watch. Task reward, 53 experience points. Huh. A mission so soon. Chen Fan's eyes lit up. He didn't expect that he had just turned on the system upgrade mode, and the next second, the system issued a task. Sure enough, after turning on the upgrade mode, the rewards for the task included experience points. As long as he completes the challenge, Chen Fan will gain 53 experience points and be one step closer to the second level system. Moreover, the reward for this mission is a world-class watch limited to only 7 pieces worldwide, which makes Chen Fan very excited. As the saying goes, the poor play with cars and the rich play with watches. Sometimes, it is very important to have a watch that suits your status. Patek Philippe, the world's top luxury watch brand, is recognized as the king of watches and a symbol of identity and status. Patek Philippe is loved by royal families, politicians, and wealthy people from all over the world, and the cheapest Patek Philippe watch costs hundreds of thousands. This time, the system reward is one of the most precious watches from Patek Philippe. Out of curiosity, Chen Fan looked up this Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime watch on the internet. It turned out that this was specially released by Patek Philippe to commemorate the 175th anniversary of the founding of Patek Philippe. Although there are 7 pieces in total, only 6 pieces are sold to the public. It is not impossible to regard it as a watch limited to 6 pieces worldwide. Okay, let's go together. Chen Fan sent a message to Xia Mengmeng. 10 minutes later, Chen Fan drove with Xia Mengmeng and headed straight to Xia Group. On the other side, Chen Haiyu also hurried back to the Chen family. At this moment, in the Chen family villa, besides old man Chen, Chen Yuzhen and others were also there. How's it going, Haiyu? How's it going? Is Chen Fan, that little bastard, having left our Chen family, having a hard time now? Seeing Chen Haiyu coming back, Mr. Chen asked casually. That's for sure. If he leaves our Chen family, that little bastard Chen Fan will definitely become more and more destitute day by day. Everyone in the Chen family echoed this. Hearing this, Chen Haiyu's face turned pale, and he said with a slightly trembling voice, "Grandpa, I didn't complete your task." Old Master Chen frowned and decided to add insult to injury and teach the miserable Chen Fan a lesson. Couldn't Chen Haiyu handle such a small matter? Just when Mr. Chen was dissatisfied, Chen Haiyu suddenly said something that shocked everyone. "Grandpa, Chen Fan is not only not in a bad state now, but is living a better life. I saw him driving a Lamborghini worth more than 10 million yuan past me with my own eyes." What? Haiyu, you are kidding, Chen Fan is driving a luxury car worth more than 10 million yuan. Chen Yuzhen asked in disbelief. Yes, I saw it with my own eyes. Chen Haiyu nodded. In an instant, the entire Chen family fell into deathly silence. The development of things was completely different from what they had imagined. Logically speaking, after severing ties with their Chen family, Chen Fan would definitely become more and more destitute. How could he be getting better and even drive a luxury car worth tens of millions? This is impossible, impossible. Everyone in the Chen family had shock, confusion, and bewilderment on their faces. At the scene, Mr. Chen had the ugliest expression. He was unwilling to believe what Chen Hayu had just said. How could that little beast Chen Fan possibly get better and better? Why? It's so unreasonable. There is definitely something fishy going on here. In the mind of Mr. Chen, Chen Fan is the most ordinary and mediocre among the younger generation of their Chen family. He is destined to not achieve anything in the future and is the worst one in their Chen family. Therefore, Mr. Chen would not hesitate to sacrifice Chen Fan to marry into the Xu family of Jinling. But now he is told that Chen Fan can drive a luxury car worth tens of millions on his own. Doesn't this show that he has poor vision? No, absolutely not. He would not have misjudged Chen Fan. He still firmly believed that Chen Fan was destined to be mediocre and would not achieve anything. Chen Hayu suddenly spoke up and added, "By the way, Grandpa, when I came back, I heard something about Chen Fan." Chapter 11 Mr. Chen's Evil Plan. Oh. What is it? Mr. Chen asked curiously. Grandpa, I heard that Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng, the school beauty of Jiangzhou University, had lunch together in the restaurant at noon. Chen Hayu replied. What? Mr. Chen frowned. I see. Several people in the Chen family were still in a trance because Chen Fan drove a luxury car worth tens of millions, when old man Chen suddenly spoke. What's wrong, father? Questions and answers by Chen Yuzhen. I understand why that little bastard Chen Fan can drive a car worth tens of millions. Old Master Chen looked as if he had seen through Chen Fan's tricks. This sentence instantly aroused the curiosity of several people from the Chen family present, and they all looked at Mr. Chen. It's very simple. Hayu, the school beauty you mentioned is named Xia, right? Mr. Chen looked at Chen Hayu. Yes. If nothing unexpected happens, this school beauty should be the daughter of Xia Group. Mr. Chen spoke. He had heard before that the boss of Xia Group had two daughters. The elder daughter had already taken over the company, and the younger daughter seemed to have just entered college and was in Jiangzhou. What? The daughter of Xia Group? Everyone was amazed. Although the status of the wealthy Chen family was no worse than that of the daughter of the Xia Group, if you calculate strictly, their gold content was far less than that of the daughter of the Xia Group. The boss of Xia Group has two daughters, and in the future, Xia Group will definitely belong to these two daughters. But the Chen family is different. They are a large family. When the old man passes away in the future, with so many people in the family, each person will definitely not get much money. Grandpa, there seems to be a rumor in school that Xia Mengmeng is the youngest daughter of the boss of Xia Group. Chen Hayu indirectly confirmed Mr. Chen's guess. I guess that luxury car worth tens of millions belongs to the daughter of Xia Group. I don't know how Chen Fan got to know the daughter of Xia Group, borrowed the car from her, and deliberately showed it off in front of you. Chen Fan wanted to use this to prove that his life was better after he severed ties with our Chen family. Mr. Chen sneered. But the more Chen Fan behaves like this, the more it shows that his life has become worse after he severed ties with our Chen family. He can only rely on others, charity, and disguise to prove himself. Hayu, Yuzhen, come here, I will teach you how to deal with Chen Fan. Mr. Chen had an idea. Chen Hayu and Chen Yuzhen's eyes immediately lit up. They would never see Chen Fan living a better life than them. The worse Chen Fan's life was, the better it would be if he was homeless on the streets and had no food to eat. Only then would they be happy. Now that the old man has a plan against Chen Fan, they naturally agree with it. So the two of them hurried over and followed the old man's instructions. On the other side, Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng also came to Xia Group and went to Xia Ruoshui's office. In the office, Xia Ruoshui was handling things meticulously. Just then, Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng arrived. Elder sister. After coming in, Xia Mengmeng gave Xia Ruoshui a big bear hug. Hey, Mr. Chen, Mengmeng, why are you here? Sister, I have nothing to do this afternoon, so I came to see you. Senior Chen wants to visit the company. Xia Mengmeng explained. Mr. Xia, I just bought this building not long ago. I came to visit it today when I have time. Chen Fan nodded. Of course, Chen Fan's more important reason was to complete the system task, get the global limited edition Patek Philippe watch, and the system's experience points. Is that so? Then I'll show Mr. Chen around. Xie Ruoxue stood up. Just when Xie Ruoxue was about to take Chen Fan on a tour, a senior executive of the Xie group rushed in and shouted, "Oh no, Mr. Xie, something happened." Chapter 12, the limited edition Patek Philippe is in hand, the new. What's wrong? Xie Ruoxue frowned slightly and asked. The company's top management was about to report, but suddenly noticed Chen Fan and Xie Mengmeng in the room, and stopped talking. "It's okay, go ahead." Xie Ruoxue spoke. "Boss Xie, this is a company secret. Why don't you come out and I'll tell you?" Seeing this, Chen Fan spoke. "Mr. Xie, since you have something to do, I will take a look around first. This is a company secret, so it is understandable that the senior executive does not want to talk about it in front of me. And now it is more important to complete the system's tasks and visit your own financial building. Okay then, Meng Meng, you can show Mr. Chen around the building for me first, and I'll come after I'm done." Seeing this, Xie Ruoxue asked Xie Mengmeng to replace her temporarily. Okay. Xie Mengmeng felt overwhelmed when she mentioned company matters and didn't want to stay here, so she nodded in agreement. Afterwards, under the guidance of Xie Mengmeng, Chen Fan began to visit his own financial building. After Chen Fan left, the company's senior executive spoke. "Boss Xie, our raw material supplier, Nanmao Company, suddenly announced that it would cancel its cooperation with us." "What?" Xie Ruoxue looked a little panicked. Nanmao Group is an important supplier of raw materials to them. If they suddenly cancel the cooperation with their group, it will cause huge losses to their group. Nanmao Company has been cooperating well with us for such a long time. Why would they suddenly cancel their cooperation with us? Xie Ruoxue said in confusion. Suddenly, Xie Ruoxue's eyes fixed and guessed. Could it be Yum Brand's doing? During this period, the conflict between their Xie group and their old rival Yum Brands has become increasingly serious. As an old established enterprise in Jiangzhou, Yum Brands has a very strong foundation and is stronger than their Xie group. But if the Xie group wants to continue to develop, it cannot avoid the battle with Yum Brands. Recently, Xie Ruoxue is preparing for their war with Yum Brands. Since the Xie group is actively preparing, Yum Group will definitely not give up. It is very likely that Yum Brands did this. The top management nodded. Faced with the problems of Nanmao Company, Xie Ruoxue became anxious. This matter must be resolved as soon as possible. The longer it was delayed, the more disadvantageous it would be for their Xie group. You should contact Tingfei Group, Gui Feng Company and Qianlin Group immediately and ask them if they are willing to cooperate with us. We need to find new partners as soon as possible. Xie Ruoxue started to make arrangements immediately. Yes. The company's top management nodded and took action. On the other side, after touring the building for a while, the voice of the system came. Bite. Promise Xie Mengmeng to go to Xie Group together and visit her financial building. Mission accomplished. Congratulations on winning one of the world's top watches, limited to 7 pieces worldwide. A Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime watch. The watch has been placed in your villa study, please check it. Congratulations on obtaining 53 experience points. Mission accomplished. This top-notch Patek Philippe watch, limited to only 7 pieces worldwide, and 53 experience points were obtained. Chen Fan was quite satisfied. Now we are 1447 experience points away from upgrading the system. After visiting for a while, Chen Fan and Xie Mengmeng returned to Xie Ruoxue's office. At this moment, Xie Ruoxue was dealing with the problem seriously. Sister, what happened? Xie Mengmeng couldn't help but ask. Xie Ruoxue did not hide anything and said it directly. This matter was not too secret, and Xie Ruoxue trusted Chen Fan's character, so she had no scruples. Yum Brands? Hearing this name, Chen Fan's eyes turned slightly cold. Yum Brands chairman, Kong Yum Brands, has a very, very good relationship with Mr. Chen. Yum Brands and the Chen family are also allies. I didn't expect that Xie Ruoxue is also competing with Yum Brands. Chen Fan felt emotional. At this moment, Chen Fan thought of an important thing. A few hours ago, he acquired shares of Tingfei Group and became the 3rd largest shareholder of Tingfei Group. At this moment, the system's voice came again. Bite. Temporary mission released. Help Xie Ruoshui resolve this crisis and strike a blow to Yum. Brands from the side. Task time, within 48 hours. Task reward, 1 skill selection card. You can choose a skill at will. After using any skill selection card, you will master this skill thoroughly. Task reward, 58 experience points. Just when Chen Fan was studying this system task, the senior executive suddenly broke in. He was so flustered at the moment that he no longer cared about the presence of Chen Fan, an outsider, and spoke directly. Boss Xie, I followed your instructions and contacted several other companies. It turned out that they all rejected our proposal outright. I suspect that Yum Brands informed them in advance and bribed them to stop cooperating with us, thus completely blocking our way out. After learning this worse news, Xie Ruoshui's face became even more solemn. Damn Yum! For a moment, she was at a loss as to what to do. Boss Xie, what raw materials does Nanmao Company mainly provide you with? In what areas do you cooperate with Nanmao Company? At this time, Chen Fan spoke and asked Xie Ruoshui several specific questions about the cooperation between their Xie Group and Nanmao Company. Although Xie Ruoshui didn't know why Chen Fan asked this, she still told Chen Fan in detail. After listening, Chen Fan smiled mysteriously and said calmly, Boss Xie, maybe I can help you with this matter. Yum Brands has a special relationship with the Chen family. If one day, he and the Chen family come into conflict, Yum Brands will definitely stand on the side of the Chen family without hesitation. If I stand up now, I can not only complete the task and get a generous reward, but also help Xie Ruoshui and suppress Yum Brands. It can be said that I kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Mr. Chen, do you have a solution? Xie Ruoshui's eyes suddenly lit up and she looked at Chen Fan with great excitement. Well, I have some connections in Tingfei Group. Chen Fan nodded. Mr. Chen, are you sure you can convince Tingfei Group? I just contacted a vice president of Tingfei Group, but he clearly rejected me. The senior executive of Xie Group expressed deep doubt about Chen Fan's words. Even if Mr. Chen has connections in Tingfei Group, can he be as powerful as their vice president of Tingfei Group? Chapter 13 How come the Jiangzhou boss is like a little lamb in front of Chen Fan? Of course I am sure. Chen Fan nodded. As the 3rd largest shareholder of Tingfei Group, he was very confident in doing this. Give me half a day, I'll help Mr. Xie get it done. The senior executive wanted to say something, but was stopped by Xie Ruoshui. Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Chen. Xie Ruoshui looked at Chen Fan, her eyes full of gratitude. It's just a small matter. Chen Fan spoke calmly, then took out his cell phone and called Jing Xingder, the president of Tingfei Group, to ask him to have dinner together tonight. Dinner tonight, okay. Jing Xingder agreed immediately. We'll meet at Wangang Pavilion at 6 tonight. Chen Fan nodded. Wangang Pavilion is the most top-notch high-end restaurant in Jiangzhou, bar none. Okay. Both parties made an agreement. Time flew quickly, and at 6 o'clock in the evening, Chen Fan arrived at Wangang Pavilion. Looking at the large and antique Wangang Pavilion, Chen Fan felt a little emotional. Even though he was once a direct descendant of the wealthy Chen family, he had never been to Wangang Pavilion to eat. Instead, it was after he severed his relationship with the Chen family that he came to Wangang Pavilion for the first time. Wangang Pavilion is the top restaurant in Jiangzhou. The average per capita consumption is as high as tens of thousands, excluding alcohol. If alcohol is included, a meal may cost 100,000 or even hundreds of thousands. Even ordinary wealthy people cannot afford it. As soon as Chen Fan sat down, Jing Xingder hurried over with 2 vice presidents of Tingfei Group. After seeing Chen Fan, Jing Xingder and the other 2 were extremely surprised. They never expected that Chen Fan was so young. After a brief moment of stunned silence, the 3 of them shook hands and greeted Chen Fan enthusiastically. Hello, Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen is young and promising. After the dishes were served, after chatting for a while, Chen Fan got straight to the point. Cooperate with Xie Group. Hearing Chen Fan say this, Jing Xingder was a little surprised, but he smiled and nodded. No problem. Cooperating with Xie Group is a good thing for us. The strength of the Xie Group is obvious to all in Jiangzhou. Cooperating with the Xie Group is naturally a good thing for their Tingfei Group. He has no reason not to agree. Just when Jing Xingder was about to agree, their vice president on his left, Zhu Yinjie, immediately whispered in Jing Xingder's ear. "Boss, you must not agree to this." Zhu Yinjie was their vice president of Tongfei Group who had previously rejected the senior executive of Xia Group. Why? Jing Xingder asked in confusion why he couldn't agree to such a good thing. It was President Feng's special order not to let us cooperate with the Xia Group. Zhu Yinjie explained. Mr. Feng, the second largest shareholder of their Tongfei Group, has a higher status in the group than Chen Fan. What? Jing Xingder narrowed his eyes. How come the second and third largest shareholders of the company were involved in this matter? For a moment, Jing Xingder was in a dilemma. If he agreed, he would offend Mr. Feng. If he refused, he would offend Mr. Chen. He would be in a difficult position. Vice President, is there anything you want to talk about that cannot be said in person? When Chen Fan opened his mouth, he had a bad feeling in his heart. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen, the group can't agree to your request. Zhu Yinjie pointed it out directly and confronted Chen Fan head-on. Zhu Yinjie is Mr. Feng's confidant and is not afraid of Chen Fan, the third largest shareholder. I can't agree to it. It seems that it is not up to you, the vice president, to decide whether the group can agree to it or not. Chen Fan responded coldly. Jing Xingder wanted to smooth things over, but Zhu Yinjie spoke directly with a hint of threat. President, don't forget that Mr. Feng's shares are almost the same as Mr. Jiang's, the largest shareholder. If one day Mr. Feng buys a few more shares, he can become the new largest shareholder. In comparison, Mr. Chen will. Why? Jing Xingder sighed softly. What Zhu Yinjie said made sense. He had no choice but to offend Mr. Chen. Seeing this, a smug smile flashed across Zhu Yinjie's face. But before Jing Xingder could speak, a cry of surprise suddenly came. Mr. Chen, you are here too. The next second, a slightly plump middle-aged man walked over quickly, shook hands with Chen Fan and greeted him with a flattering look on his face. When Jing Xingder, Zhu Yinjie and the other two saw the appearance of this slightly plump middle-aged man, their faces changed. Zhao Linyang. Why is he here? The slightly plump middle-aged man was the overbearing man walking his dog without a leash that Chen Fan and Xia Ruoxue met when they were taking a walk in Yujing Villa. After confirming Zhao Linyang's identity, Jing Xingder and the other two quickly stood up and greeted Zhao Linyang respectfully. Mr. Zhao. Hello, Mr. Zhao. However, Zhao Linyang seemed not to hear them and ignored the three of them. Instead, he continued to chat with Chen Fan in a slightly flattering manner. Even though Zhao Linyang was so rude, Jing Xingder and the other two did not dare to complain. Not to mention the fact that Zhao Linyang is the brother-in-law of their Jiangzhou boss Sun Yongtai, they can't afford to offend Zhao Linyang himself. Jing Xingder, Zhu Yinjie and the other two were a little dazed for a moment as they looked at Zhao Linyang who kept trying to please Chen Fan. They must have seen it right. Mr. Zhao Linyang, who was always known for his arrogance in Jiangzhou, was now as obedient as a little lamb in front of Chen Fan, and even looked like he was trying to please Chen Fan. Unbelievable, unbelievable. In shock, they thought of a horrible thing. How powerful must Chen Fan's identity be if he could make the dignified Zhao Linyang like this? The more they thought about it, the more terrified they felt. Mr. Chen, I have agreed to cooperate with Xia Group. No matter who comes today, they can't stop us. Jing Xingder immediately expressed his opinion, and then looked at Zhu Yinjie with a meaningful look. Seeing what Zhao Linyang did, and thinking about how this Mr. Chen, who was so young, had acquired shares of their group worth more than 1 billion, Jing Xingder became more and more certain that Chen Fan was not a simple person, so he made a decision immediately. For a moment, Zhu Yinjie was embarrassed and fidgeted. Vice President Xu, the performance of our branch office in other places has not been very good recently. Please go and give some guidance. In order to show his sincerity and stance, Jing Xingder demoted Zhu Yinjie to a branch company in another city. Compared with Mr. Chen, Mr. Feng, the second largest shareholder, is nothing. Even if it was Mr. Feng who came, he would be respectful when he saw Zhao Linyang. Gulp. Zhu Yinjie's body went limp and he collapsed into his chair. His career was completely over. Zheng is decisive. Seeing this, Chen Fan nodded with satisfaction. It's done. After saying that, Chen Fan took out his cell phone and sent a message to Xia Ruoxue, asking her to send someone immediately to sign a contract with Jing Xingder. On the other side, Xie Ruoshui was still waiting anxiously in the office. Boss Xie, don't hold out too much hope. Cooperation with Tingfei Group is probably impossible. The senior executive from before spoke. This was a conspiracy by the mighty Yum brands. There was absolutely no way that the young Mr. Chen could easily solve it. The chance that Mr. Chen can get Tingfei Group to cooperate with us is less than 1%. Really? Xie Ruoshui asked back. Unlike this senior executive, Xie Ruoshui believed in Chen Fan. Before Xie Ruoshui finished her voice, news from Chen Fan came. Chapter 14 Mission completed. Could it be that Mr. Xie has been taken by Mr. Chen? When Xie Ruoshui opened her phone, a faint smile suddenly appeared on her face. In an instant, she was stunningly beautiful. Seeing this scene, even though the senior executive in the office was a woman, she was a little dazed. This was the first time she saw President Xie smile. She was so beautiful. Director Xu, what did you just say? Xie Ruoshui looked at the company executives. The company executive thought for a moment before answering without knowing why. I said that the possibility that Mr. Chen would let Tingfei Group cooperate with us is less than 1%. What's wrong, Mr. Xie? Director Xu, your prediction was inaccurate. This 1% happened exactly. Xie Ruoshui spoke slowly. Mr. Chen really did it. What? Boss Xie, do you mean that Boss Chen has convinced Tingfei Group to cooperate with us? Director Xu was so shocked that his jaw dropped and he was stunned. Yes, and Mr. Chen just sent me a message asking me to send someone over. We can sign the contract now. Xie Ruoshui added. Can we sign the contract now? Director Xu was stunned. This was something she had never expected. Mr. Chen is so awesome. In just a few hours, he took care of the Tingfei Group and easily resolved the conspiracy of Yum brands. That's amazing. Mr. Xie, how about I go over and sign the contract? I'll also apologize to Mr. Chen. I have a flawed vision and underestimated Mr. Chen. Director Xu volunteered. I'll go myself, but you can come with me if you want. Xie Ruoshui decided. Mr. Chen personally helped them to settle the matter, so naturally she had to go there in person to express her gratitude to Mr. Chen. After saying that, Xie Ruoshui and Director Xu set off for Wangang Pavilion restaurant. On the other side, in the restaurant, Chen Fan was chatting with Zhao Linyang. As they chatted, they talked about Wangang Pavilion. The owner of Wangang Pavilion really made a fortune. Wangang Pavilion is simply a money printing machine. Zhao Linyang opened his mouth, drooling over Wangang Pavilion. Oh, is Wangang Pavilion so powerful? Chen Fan asked in surprise. In fact, making money for Wangang Pavilion is secondary. The most important thing is that Wangang Pavilion is the top restaurant in Jiangzhou. When there are important business banquets, the rich and powerful people in Jiangzhou like to come here. Over time, many bigwigs and wealthy people in Jiangzhou have become members of Wangang Pavilion. Over the years, Wangang Pavilion has accumulated a very large network of contacts. Zhao Linyang spoke. This network of contacts is what he truly covets. After listening to what Zhao Linyang said, Chen Fan's eyes lit up and he also had some ideas about Wangang Pavilion. Now that he has the system, his assets are growing rapidly every day. Unfortunately, he does not have a network of contacts to match it, which is Chen Fan's shortcoming. If he could have a network of contacts that matches his needs, Chen Fan would be like a fish in water. It would be great if we could take over Wangang restaurant. Just as Chen Fan and Zhao Linyang were chatting, Xie Ruoshui and Director Xu arrived. Chen Fan introduced the two parties. Under the witness of Chen Fan and Zhao Linyang, Xie Ruoshui officially reached a long-term cooperation with Tingfei Group. Xie Ruoshui's troubles were easily resolved and the conspiracy of Yum brands was cracked. Just then, the system's voice came. Bite. Help Xie Ruoshui solve this problem and attack Yum brands from the side. Mission accomplished. Congratulations on obtaining one skill selection card. You can choose a skill at will and master it thoroughly to become a master. Congratulations on obtaining 58 experience points. Mission completed. Any skill selection card is obtained. In fact, when Chen Fan first saw the reward for this task, he was a little surprised, but this was also good news. It indirectly showed that the system would not only reward specific assets, but also reward skills. Master-level skills cannot be bought with any amount of money, especially some very powerful skills, which can play an important role at special moments. Now that the task is completed, Chen Fan can choose a skill he likes at will. The value of this reward is no less than that of Patek Philippe. As for what skills to learn, Chen Fan needs to think about it carefully. After the contract was signed, Jing Xingde and Zhao Linyong left. Only Chen Fan, Xie Ruoshui and Director Xu were left there. Mr. Chen, I apologize to you for what happened before. Director Xu spoke sincerely. Mr. Chen, there is something I want to ask you, but I don't know whether I should ask you this or not. After hesitating for a while, Director Xu couldn't help but speak. Oh, what is it? Mr. Chen, how did you manage to get Tingfei Group to cooperate with us? It's only been 3 or 4 hours. Hearing this, even Xie Ruoshui couldn't help but look at Chen Fan. She was also very curious. Well, the reason is very simple, because I am the third largest shareholder of Tingfei Group. Chen Fan replied calmly. A shareholder of Tingfei Group, Mr. Chen is actually still a shareholder of Tingfei Group. Director Xu had an expression of amazement and surprise on his face. Mr. Chen is awesome. It was getting late, and when Director Xu was about to send Xie Ruoshui back, Xie Ruoshui refused her. No need, Director Xu, you go first. I can just take Mr. Chen's car back. When Director Xu heard Xie Ruoshui's words, he was immediately stunned. What? She must have heard it right. President Xie took the initiative to take President Chen's car back. Oh my god, something's happening. When Director Xu looked at Chen Fan and Xie Ruoshui again, the word gossip was written all over his face. In Jiangzhou, President Xie is famous for being aloof. Not to mention towards men, he even keeps a deep distance from women. But now, President Xie actually wants to take President Chen's car back. This is not Mr. Xie's style. No, there is definitely something wrong with these two people. There is a high probability that their relationship is not ordinary. Could it be that Mr. Xie has been taken down by Mr. Chen? What the hell, what the hell, what the hell? If this news gets out, I don't know how many young talents in Jiangzhou will want to strangle Mr. Chen to death. In that case, Director Xu left tactfully. Chen Fan and Xie Ruoshui walked out of the restaurant. Just as Chen Fan was about to go back, Xie Ruoshui suggested taking a walk along the river. Wangang Pavilion is built on the riverside. Mr. Chen, I really don't know how to thank you. Xie Ruoshui spoke. If it weren't for Mr. Chen, she would be in huge trouble, and at this critical moment, the consequences would be disastrous. I owe Mr. Chen a favor. So, if Mr. Chen has anything to do in the future, he can come to me and I will never refuse. Xie Ruoshui made a promise to Chen Fan. Chen Fan was stunned for a moment. Even he didn't expect Xie Ruoshui to say this. The promise of the most beautiful female CEO in Jiangzhou and the boss of Xie Group with a market value of tens of billions is of extraordinary value. The two continued walking along the river. Xie Ruoshui and Chen Fan chatted a lot, and unknowingly, their relationship became closer. Afterwards, Xie Ruoshui took Chen Fan's car back. After returning to the villa, Chen Fan couldn't wait to walk into the study of the villa, where the Patek Philippe watch, which was limited to 7 pieces worldwide and he had just received today, could be found. When he arrived at the study, Chen Fan saw from afar a mysterious wooden box on the desk. When Chen Fan went over to open it, an extremely exquisite watch came into his sight. This is the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime watch awarded by the system. Chen Fan put it on and was very satisfied with this Patek Philippe. Watches of this level are among the best in Jiangzhou, and even in the whole country. On the 3rd day after we severed our relationship, I was rewarded with generous shares of Tingfei Group. Tomorrow is the 4th day, and I don't know what the reward will be. Chen Fan is looking forward to tomorrow's reward and hopes that the system will not let him down. Chapter 15, the 4th day of severing ties, the top-level reward. In another luxurious villa in Jiangzhou, 2 elderly men in their 60s or 70s were chatting. One of them is the old man of the Chen family, Chen Shanhai, and the other old man is the current chairman of Yum Brands Kong Yum. Old Chen, I heard that there is a scum in your family who cut off ties with your Chen family in public. Kong Baixing looked like he was watching the fun. Humph, that little bastard will regret it. Mr. Chen spoke with a gloomy expression. If it's inconvenient for you to come forward, do you want me to help you teach this bastard grandson a lesson? Kong Baixing asked proactively. No, if I can't even solve this problem, why would I be the head of the Chen family? Mr. Chen refused directly. He estimated that within 7 days at most, Chen Fan would come back crying and kneeling to beg him. Unfortunately, if it weren't for that little daughter of the Xia group causing trouble, it would only take 3 days. Tomorrow, the relationship between Chen Fan and that school beauty will break down, and that little bastard Chen Fan will make matters worse. Thinking of his previous plans and the instructions he gave to Chen Hayu, Mr. Chen was very confident. After hearing what Mr. Chen said, Kong Baixing did not continue speaking. He was just joking and had no intention of really showing up. After all, a junior like Chen Fan is not qualified enough to let him come forward. Isn't it good to be a descendant of a wealthy family? They actually want to sever ties with you. I really don't know if your grandson has water in his head or was kicked by a donkey. Kong Baixing spoke with disgust. If he had a grandson like this, he would definitely break his legs. However, just as he finished speaking, his cell phone suddenly rang. Kong Baixing picked up the phone in surprise. Chairman, your plan against Xia Group has been cracked. Xia Group has found a new supplier. The general manager of Yum Brands was anxious to report. What? How is this possible? Kong Baixing looked as if he had seen a ghost and was no longer as calm as before. He guessed that Xia Group would solve the problem. After all, it was just a supplier's issue and not a huge problem. The problem is, he just dealt with Xia Group's partner, Nanmao Company, today. It's only been a few hours, and Xia Group has solved the problem. What a joke! He had previously guessed that the Xia Group would need 10 days or a week or so, and would have to spend some money to get it done, but it turned out to be done in less than 7 hours. Didn't you tell other companies not to cooperate with Xia Group? Kong Baixing questioned. We said hello, but the Tungfei Group didn't listen to us. The general manager was also helpless. If they dare not listen to us, we should teach this Tungfei Group a lesson and let them know the consequences of going against the wishes of our Park Sun Group. Kong Yum ordered. At this moment, Kong Baixing was so angry that his face turned pale. The plan against the Xia Group failed, and he had to make a new plan. What's the matter, Lao Kong? It seems that something has happened here too. Do you want my help? This time, it was Mr. Chen's turn to speak. No, I don't believe that I can't handle the Xia Group. Kong Baixing said with a gloomy face that he was going to do something ruthless. Honestly, if you need help, just ask. I'm also very unhappy with the Xia Group. Old Master Chen agreed. After all, they were allies. They would prosper together and suffer together. Afterwards, Kong Baixing had to make arrangements for the follow-up, and Mr. Chen left. Time flies. At noon the next day, just after class, the system voice came. Bite. On the 4th day of severing the relationship, you will be rewarded with 100% ownership of Jiangzhou's top high-end restaurant, Wangang Pavilion, and become the new owner of Wangang Pavilion. The total value of Wangang Pavilion is about 1.1 billion. Huh. After seeing the system reward this time, Chen Fan was immediately stunned. Oh my god, you are not kidding. I just had my eyes on Wangang Pavilion yesterday, and the system gave Wangang Pavilion to me today. In an instant, a huge feeling of joy surged into Chen Fan's heart. Very good. The system is awesome. With the ownership of Wangang Pavilion, his net worth can be increased by another 10 billion, and now it has exceeded 4.6 billion. If his luxury cars, luxury houses, and the global limited edition Patek Philippe are added, it is estimated to reach 4.7 or 4.8 billion. With only the last 200 to 300 million left, his net worth would exceed 5 billion. This is secondary. According to what Zhao Linyang said, the most valuable thing about Wangang Restaurant is the rich network of contacts it has accumulated. Now that Chen Fan has become the new boss of Wangang Pavilion, he can also inherit this huge network of contacts, which can make up for his shortcomings and make him feel at home. Today's system rewards are so great. Chen Fan walked out of the teaching building with a smile, and unexpectedly met Xia Mengmeng downstairs. Senior Chen, are you looking for me? Xia Mengmeng came over on her own initiative. Chen Fan was confused. He didn't look for Xia Mengmeng. No. Chen Fan shook his head. No, didn't you ask someone to inform me that you had something to talk to me about and ask me to come to this teaching building to find you? Xia Mengmeng was also confused. Just as the two were stunned, Chen Haiyu came over with his men. He was the one who sent people to spread false information and trick Xia Mengmeng into coming here, just to expose Chen Fan's true face of heartless and ungrateful in front of Xia Mengmeng. Xia Xiaohua, you have been deceived by Chen Fan. I just came here, Chen Haiyu said with a pretentious expression. R. Xia Mengmeng was puzzled. Chen Fan is a scumbag who deceived your feelings. He is not a good man. Chen Haiyu continued. Xia Mengmeng was even more confused. She looked at Chen Fan, wondering where this lunatic guy came from. Let him perform, just watch the clown. Chen Fan whispered to Xia Mengmeng that he wanted to see what Chen Haiyu could come up with. You said I was heartless and ungrateful. Come on, tell me, how am I heartless and ungrateful? Chen Fan asked back. Chen Haiyu was just about to follow his own script, but since Chen Fan asked this, he immediately answered without hesitation. For your own benefit, you are willing to put our Chen family in danger without caring about family affection. If you are not heartless and ungrateful, what are you? Chapter 16, Encountering the Chen family at Wangang Pavilion. Chen Fan is not worthy of being here. What he said was true. If Chen Fan did not marry into the Xu family, once the Xu family became angry with them, the Chen family would be the first to suffer. The anger of the Jinling Xu family is not something that a small wealthy family in Jiangzhou can bear. So, Chen Haiyu pushed all the responsibility onto Chen Fan. Miss Xia, do you think Chen Fan is not heartless and ungrateful? Chen Haiyu looked at Xia Mengmeng. What do you mean by for my benefit? It's obviously you who are sacrificing my life for your own benefit. For the sake of your so-called family interests, I was asked to marry a pregnant woman. Har har, since you are so selfless, why don't you marry her? You are so great. If you marry her, won't the crisis of the Chen family be solved? Chen Fan retorted. In an instant, Chen Haiyu was speechless. He is not stupid, why would he marry a bitch like Xu Junyao? After hearing what Chen Fan said, Xia Mengmeng also understood. Especially when she heard the word marriage, Xia Mengmeng's emotions were triggered, and she directly said, is this what you call ruthless and heartless? If I were Senior Chen, let alone severing ties with your Chen family, I would probably set fire to the Chen family. Xia Mengmeng scolded Chen Haiyu several times in a row. Chen Haiyu was stunned. Why is Xia Mengmeng's reaction so excited? This is not what he expected. Senior Chen, your choice to sever ties with the Chen family was absolutely the right one. After saying that, Xia Mengmeng took Chen Fan and left. Chen Haiyu was stunned. What's going on? He wanted to break up Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng, but now it seems that not only did he fail to achieve his goal, but he made the relationship between Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng a little better. He ended up helping Chen Fan. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Chen Haiyu roared angrily in his heart. On the other side, Chen Fan had already driven and took Xia Mengmeng to Wangang Pavilion. He's treating us at noon today. After all, eating at Wangang Pavilion as a guest and as the owner are two completely different experiences. On their way, Xia Mengmeng was feeling a little depressed. Chapter 17 shocked Chen Yuzhen, you are nothing but a nobody. Not to mention that Chen Fan has now severed ties with their Chen family. Even when Chen Fan was still in the Chen family, he could not afford a restaurant like Wangang Pavilion. Seeing Chen Fan in front of Wangang Pavilion now, Chen Yuzhen felt it was a huge irony. Chen Fan smiled coldly and said, I can't come here, but can you come here? Seeing Chen Fan say this, Chen Yuzhen showed a smug smile on her face and said ostentatiously, of course. I come to Wangang Pavilion at least 5 times a month. Do you think this is a place I can come to? You may have been able to do so before, but today, you cannot enter the gate of Wangang Pavilion. Chen Fan spoke slowly. As he spoke, Chen Fan casually sent a text message. I can't enter the gate of Wangang Pavilion today. What a joke. Who do you think you are? I'm dying of laughter. Har 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 har. Chen Yuzhen laughed as if she had heard a huge joke and was bent over with laughter. That's right. How dare you say Sister Chen can't enter Wangang Pavilion? How is that possible? Is this kid still asleep? Is there a place in Jiangzhou that our Sister Yuzhen can't enter? Several of Chen Yuzhen's companions couldn't help but speak up and mock Chen Fan. Chen Yuzhen straightened her back and looked at Chen Fan confidently. Chen Fan, now, I will show you how I entered Wangang Pavilion openly. As for a poor fellow like you, you are only fit to smell the food in front of Wangang Pavilion. You will never be able to enter in your entire life. You are only fit to eat the kind of street food that even dogs won't eat. Let's go." After saying that, Chen Yuzhen held her head high and chest puffed out, then strode towards Wangang Pavilion. Before Chen Yuzhen walked in, the receptionist standing in front of the gate of Wangang Pavilion came out. "I'm sorry, we are full this afternoon and there are no seats left. If you want to come next time, you can make an appointment in advance," the receptionist said apologetically. Upon hearing this, Chen Yuzhen's companions were suddenly embarrassed. On the contrary, Chen Yuzhen's expression was calm, as if everything was expected. "Don't worry." Chen Yuzhen glanced at her companions, then confidently took out a special card from her bag. "Look, I'm your Wangang Pavilion senior member Chen Yuzhen, with privileges such as no need to queue and no need to make reservations." Chen Yuzhen arrogantly threw her Wangang Pavilion senior membership card to the staff. "Premium member?" Hearing these four words, the receptionist's face changed instantly. "Why, do you think I can go in now?" Chen Yuzhen asked. "Yes, of course you can. You are a senior member, so you naturally have this privilege. I just didn't recognize you. Please." The staff bowed politely and made a gesture to invite you in. Seeing this scene, the smile on Chen Yuzhen's face became even brighter. Chen Yuzhen turned her head and said to Chen Fan with great pride, "Little thing, see? I'm going to Wangang Pavilion to eat now, and you can only watch from outside and you will never be able to come in." After saying that, Chen Yuzhen took a big step and was about to step into Wangang Pavilion. Unfortunately, before her feet could land, a man in his 30s in a suit came out and stopped Chen Yuzhen. "Hey, Manager Zhao, what are you doing?" After seeing the visitor's appearance clearly, Chen Yuzhen asked in surprise. The man in a suit was none other than the lobby manager of Wangang Pavilion. "Ms. Chen, what are you doing?" Manager Zhao asked back. Of course I went in to eat. What else can I do?" "Manager Zhao, please don't block the road here. It's getting late." After saying that, Chen Yuzhen wanted to go in again, but Manager Zhao was stopped by her again. Then, under Chen Yuzhen's questioning gaze, Manager Zhao announced in a cold voice. "Ms. Chen Yuzhen, I'm sorry to inform you that you can't go in today." "What? What did you say?" Chen Yuzhen was furious. In front of that little thing Chen Fan and his companions, Manager Zhao actually refused to let him in. Why? Why? There is no reason. You just can't go in. If you must have an answer, you can understand that there is no place for you in there. Manager Zhao shrugged and answered arrogantly. At this moment, Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng also came over. "Why, I told you that you couldn't get in today, do you believe it now?" Chen Fan said calmly. In an instant, Chen Yuzhen's face turned red and she was extremely embarrassed. Chen Fan stepped forward and whispered a few words to Manager Zhao. After hearing Chen Fan's words clearly, the arrogant Manager Zhao immediately revealed a flattering smile. Come in quickly." Manager Zhao respectfully invited Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng in. "Chen Yuzhen, we are going in, and you can only watch from outside." Chen Fan repeated to her exactly what Chen Yuzhen had said just now. Chen Yuzhen was instantly furious. The next second, with Chen Yuzhen looking furious, Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng leisurely walked into Wangang Pavilion to have dinner. Chen Yuzhen and others were still stopped outside. "Didn't you say there was no room left? How come he was able to get in? He had a seat, but I didn't." Chen Yuzhen pointed at Manager Zhao and cursed loudly. Manager Zhao was amused by Chen Yuzhen's words. "Who are you to be compared with Mr. Chen? Who are you?" Manager Zhao cursed back without any hesitation. "Who am I? I'm Chen Yuzhen, a senior member of your Wangang Pavilion." Chen Yuzhen replied. "Oh, by the way." After being reminded by Chen Yuzhen, Manager Zhao remembered. Then, Manager Zhao took Chen Yuzhen's VIP card from the receptionist, and then took out a pair of scissors that he had specially prepared from his pocket. In front of Chen Yuzhen and everyone present, Manager Zhao simply cut Chen Yuzhen's VIP card into two halves. Then, Manager Zhao announced loudly. "From now on, you, Chen Yuzhen, are no longer a senior member of our Wangang Pavilion. Moreover, from now on, you are included in our Wangang Pavilion's blacklist and you will never be allowed to eat in Wangang Pavilion again." Manager Zhao's words sounded like thunder in Chen Yuzhen's ears, and she froze there. What's going on? She has been blacklisted by Wangang Pavilion. We must stay away from her. Several guests who had just finished their meal at Wangang Pavilion restaurant started talking about it when they heard what manager Zhao said. Being blacklisted by Wangang Pavilion would definitely make him a huge laughingstock in Jiangzhou's upper-class society. Chen Yuzhen's face was completely lost. Why? Chen Yuzhen yelled. Why could Chen Fan get in but he couldn't? His Wangang Pavilion membership card was cancelled and he was even blacklisted by Wangang Pavilion. Chen Yuzhen was extremely angry. Today, she was really embarrassed. Especially in front of Chen Fan, the person she despised the most. How could she stay in Jiangzhou in the future? After throwing a tantrum for a while, Chen Yuzhen calmed down a little. At this moment, thinking back to what happened just now, Chen Yuzhen suddenly understood why. Chapter 18: Xia Mengmeng's bold plan and her threat to Chen Fan. Just now, she focused all her attention on Chen Fan and ignored the beautiful girl next to Chen Fan. If nothing unexpected happens, this beautiful girl who is about the same age as Chen Fan should be the school belle Xia Mengmeng that you mentioned. The reason why Chen Fan was able to go in just now, and the reason why he was stopped by Wangang Pavilion, had his VIP card cancelled, and was even blacklisted, was definitely because Chen Fan instigated Xia Mengmeng to do it. Xia Mengmeng should be a more powerful diamond member of Wangang Pavilion. Chen Yuzhen attributed everything that had just happened to Xia Mengmeng. As for the fact that Chen Fan entered Wangang Pavilion on his own, Chen Yuzhen had never thought about it at all. Who is Chen Fan? He is an abandoned young man who has severed ties with their Chen family, a waste. How can he possibly enter Wangang Pavilion on his own? If Chen Fan wants to do this, he'd better wait until his next life. Damn Xia Mengmeng, damn Xia Group. Chen Yuzhen said, gritting her teeth. Chen Fan, you are a useless gigolo. Without Xia Mengmeng as your supporter, you are nothing but trash. Also, what did you do? Didn't he follow the old man's order to separate Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng? Why are they both having dinner at Wangang Pavilion now? Chen Yuzhen grumbled in dissatisfaction. His nephew Chen Hayu is also a waste. At this moment, Chen Yuzhen no longer had the appetite to eat, so she immediately drove away and returned to Chen's house. When Chen Yuzhen just arrived at Chen's house, she found that the old man was not at home, but Chen Hayu and another girl were at home. Chen Yuzhen kept scolding Chen Hayu. Chen Hayu had just been scolded by Xia Mengmeng at school, and when he got home, he was scolded again by his aunt Chen Yuzhen. He felt extremely aggrieved and angry. What do you do for a living? The old man arranged it so well, why don't you follow his orders? You? Chen Yuzhen vented all her dissatisfaction and anger towards Chen Fan on Chen Hayu. Aunt, I am helpless too. Chen Hayu defended himself. Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng didn't follow normal thinking at all. Before I had the chance to follow Grandpa's instructions, Xia Mengmeng scolded me. I didn't even have a chance to speak. And the relationship between the two seems to be getting even better. What do you do for a living? Chen Yuzhen cursed angrily. Okay, Aunt, Hayu's ability is limited, so let me teach Chen Fan a lesson. At this time, another woman in her 20s in the living room spoke. The woman's name is Chen Itsue. She is a junior at another university in Jiangzhou this year. She is Chen Hayu's biological sister and can be considered Chen Fan's former cousin. In the Chen family, Chen Itsue is better than Chen Hayu. Chen Hayu became the president of the student union of a department thanks to the Chen family's reputation and connections, while Chen Itsue used the capital provided by the Chen family to establish her own personal studio, and her current annual income is as high as tens of millions. That's fine. Itsue, you can definitely teach that little bastard Chen Fan a lesson. You are the hope of our Chen family. Chen Yuzhen nodded, showing great confidence in Chen Itsue's methods. I didn't expect that something like this would happen at home after I was away from home for a week. Chen Itsue smiled disdainfully. Chen Fan actually severed ties with our Chen family. Who does he think he is? Before, Chen Itsue looked down on her cousin Chen Fan and never even said a word to him. Unexpectedly, Chen Fan was so bold as to sever ties with their Chen family. Heartless and ungrateful dog. You're just hooking up with a little girl from the Xia group, not Xia Ruoxue, the most beautiful CEO in Jiangzhou. Do you really think you're invincible? Chen Itsue didn't take Chen Fan seriously at all. If the person Chen Fan was with now was Xia Ruoxue, she would turn around and leave without saying a word. As the president of Xia Group, Xia Ruoshui can only confront him if the old man steps in, as their status is not enough. If Chen Fan could get close to Xia Ruoshui, he might really be able to compete with their Chen family. Unfortunately, Chen Fan only relied on Xia Ruoshui's sister, who was only a freshman and had just some money. Chen Fan wants to use Xia Mengmeng's power to compete with the Chen family. How ridiculous! How ridiculous! Hayu, I will go to your school with you this afternoon. Chen Itsue spoke. Okay, sister, I'll rely on you to help me and help our Chen family regain face. Chen Hayu said excitedly. Chen Hayu is well aware of his own sister's methods. Now that his sister has stepped in, Chen Fan is definitely finished. On the other side, Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng were having dinner in the restaurant of Wangang Pavilion. As the two ate and talked, Chen Fan also got a general understanding of the Xia family's situation. I didn't expect the Xia family to be so big. From what Xia Mengmeng said, the Xia family might be no worse than the Xu family. Look at them, they are all daughters of big families, Xia Ruoshui, Xia Mengmeng, and Xu Junyao. What a gap! This afternoon, Xia Mengmeng helped him confront Chen Hayu. She had also helped him confront Song Manyu before. Chen Fan was very grateful. In Jiangzhou, if there is anything, you and President Xia can also come to me. Chen Fan spoke. They are helping him, so if something happens to President Xia and the others, Chen Fan will naturally not stand idly by. Well, thank you, Senior Chen. Xia Mengmeng nodded. At first, Xia Mengmeng didn't care, but suddenly, Xia Mengmeng looked at Chen Fan and thought of her sister's situation, and a bold plan emerged in her mind. The more Xia Mengmeng thought about it, the more she felt that this plan was feasible. Of course, this is just Xia Mengmeng's idea for now. We'll have to wait and see what happens next. After dinner, Chen Fan and Xia Mengmeng left Wangang Pavilion and returned to school. At noon, because of Kong Baixing's instructions, Yum Group has also begun to formulate a terrible revenge against Tingfei Group. If you dare to go against Yum brands, you will definitely not end up well. Time flies. In the afternoon, Chen Itsue confidently came to Jiangzhou University with her brother Chen Hayu. Chen Itsue was ready to take action against Chen Fan. Chapter 19, The Chen Siblings Take Action, Chen Fan's Patek Philippe is. As soon as Chen Itsue and Chen Hayu got out of the car, Chen Hayu's younger brother, who had been waiting in the parking lot, came over immediately. Brother Yu, I found out that Chen Fan's class, as well as other sophomores, are going to attend a lecture this afternoon. I report to Chen Hayu. Very good. Chen Hayu nodded with satisfaction. Hayu, I asked you to prepare in advance, are you ready? Chen Itsue asked meaningfully. This afternoon, Chen Itsue asked Chen Hayu about Chen Fan's recent situation. When Chen Itsue learned something about Chen Fan from her brother, she immediately made a plan. Don't worry, sister. I've already made the contact. Someone will be here soon. Chen Hayu answered simply. This time, Chen Fan can't escape. Without Xia Mengmeng to support him, I wonder what Chen Fan will do. Chen Hayu sneered. It was still the sister who thought it through. Just to be on the safe side, she deliberately chose to take action when Xia Mengmeng was not around Chen Fan. This way, their plan will be absolutely foolproof. Today, I will make Chen Fan lose face in front of all his classmates and countless students of Jiangzhou University, and make him a laughingstock. Chen Itsue is very satisfied with her plan. Next to him, Chen Hayu also clenched his fist and wiped his mouth, eager to try. You have been knocked down by Chen Fan twice in a row. This time, your sister has help. Chen Fan, you can just wait to become the laughingstock of the entire Jiangzhou University. On the other hand, due to the school's arrangement, Chen Fan and many sophomore students came to a super large classroom in the school that could accommodate hundreds of people to attend a lecture. Not long after Chen Fan and the others came in, Chen Hayu, Chen Itsue, and a man in his 30s in a suit carrying a black suitcase also came in from the back door. Chen Itsue gave her brother a look, and Chen Hayu immediately understood and walked towards Chen Fan in front. It's time to take action. Isn't this Chen Fan? I didn't expect to meet him here again. Chen Hayu pretended to meet him by chance and spoke in great surprise. Chen Fan glanced at Chen Hayu and didn't want to pay any attention to him. But the more Chen Fan ignored him, the closer Chen Hayu came. Hey, Chen Fan, you're wearing a Patek Philippe watch worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're so rich. Suddenly, Chen Hayu spoke loudly. Hundreds of thousands of famous watches, these words immediately attracted the attention of everyone present. In an instant, the eyes of countless people at the scene were focused on Chen Fan and Chen Hayu. The people at the scene were all sophomores. 10,000 yuan was a huge sum of money for them, and hundreds of thousands were absolutely astronomical figures. Nowadays, if you hear that someone is wearing a famous watch worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's impossible not to attract attention. Fuck, wearing a famous watch worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, so cool. Who is this brother? He is so powerful. Who is he? He is from the wealthy Chen family. It's reasonable for him to wear a watch worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Everyone at the scene murmured quietly. But Chen Fan, you have severed ties with our Chen family and even left the family with nothing. Where did you get the money to buy a Patek Philippe worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? You are not wearing a fake watch just to show off, are you? Chen Hayu said sarcastically. Fake watch? Chen Fan sneered. The Patek Philippe he was wearing was a top-quality watch limited to 7 pieces worldwide and awarded by the system. How could it be fake? The system can easily reward itself with things worth billions, so how can a mere watch be fake? What? Chen Fan has severed ties with the Chen family. He is not from a wealthy family. How could he get the money to buy a watch of this level? It must be fake. Yes, it must be a fake watch, a fake watch. This guy bought a fake watch just to show off in front of us. It's disgusting. That's right. He has severed ties with the Chen family. Why is he pretending to be tall, rich and handsome? He wears a fake watch. What the hell is that? The younger brothers that Chen Hayu had arranged long ago were shouting loudly in the crowd, deliberately setting the pace. After hearing that Chen Fan wore a fake watch to show off, many people at the scene were instigated by Chen Hayu and others and began to rebuke Chen Fan. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this Patek Philippe of mine is a real watch. Chen Fan said slowly. It's not necessarily a real watch. Chen Hayu shook his head. We can't tell whether a watch of this level is real or fake. Some of them say it's real, some say it's fake, but how can we tell the truth? We are not appraisers. It's hard to say who is telling the truth and who is lying. Everyone talked quietly. Hearing these voices at the back of the classroom, Chen Itsue glanced at the man in the suit, indicating that it was his turn to come out. The man in the suit took immediate action, walked to the front, and said loudly, Don't worry, I'm a professional watch appraiser. I can determine right now whether this Patek Philippe is real or fake. Chen Itsue stood in the distance, with her hands folded across her chest, looking coldly at Chen Fan in front of her, with a look of pride that was hard to conceal. This is her method. This afternoon, Chen Itsue learned from her younger brother that Chen Fan seemed to be wearing a Patek Philippe today, so she immediately guessed that Chen Fan's watch must be fake. After all, if it was real, how could Chen Fan, who had severed ties with their Chen family, afford it? So Chen Itsue set up such a plan to deal with Chen Fan's fake watch. For this purpose, she specially asked her brother to find this professional watch appraiser. The purpose was to slap Chen Fan hard in the face in front of everyone. Chen Itsue wanted to make Chen Fan lose face in front of his classmates and countless students of Jiangzhou University, and make him, a poor man with no money but who insisted on pretending to be cool, the laughingstock of Jiangzhou University. As things have developed to this point, it seems that her goal is about to be achieved. It's too easy to deal with Chen Fan. My younger brother and aunt were actually defeated by Chen Fan. It was unbelievable. How could they lose? Chen Itsue felt elated. It's great to have a professional appraisal certificate. Then let's identify it. Everyone was arguing. How about it, Chen Fan, didn't you say your watch is real? Do you dare to authenticate it? Chen Hayu asked provocatively. Just then, the system's voice came. Byte. Temporary task release. Agree to appraise your own watch and let Chen Hayu know what a global limited edition Patek Philippe is. Task reward, top cooking skills. Task reward, 37 experience points. Huh? Got a mission. What are you afraid of? Chen Fan took off the Patek Philippe casually. The appraiser took out the professional instruments in the box and began to conduct a meticulous appraisal. A few minutes later, the appraiser put down the instrument and stood up seriously. It seemed that there was a result. In an instant, everyone present held their breath and looked at the appraiser. Is Chen Fan's Patek Philippe real or fake? Chapter 20. The whole audience was shocked by the terrifying 8-digit price. Both Chen Haoyu and Chen Yitsue were very confident that Chen Fan's Patek Philippe must be fake, otherwise, they would not have gone to so much trouble to set up such a scheme. Now, they are just waiting for the appraiser they hired at a high price to announce the results, and then fan the flames to spread the news to the entire Jiangzhou University, making Chen Fan a laughing stock of everyone, losing face, and eventually not having the face to come to Jiangzhou University again. In this way, not only can Chen Fan be disciplined, but he can also be kept away from Xia Mengmeng. This is Chen Yitsue's plan of killing two birds with one stone. This Patek Philippe is genuine, and among all Patek Philippes, it is the best. However, the next second, the professional appraiser's words left Chen Yitsue and her brother dumbfounded. Real? Chen Fan's Patek Philippe watch is real, are you kidding me? How so? When other people at the scene found out that Chen Fan's Patek Philippe was real, they were also extremely shocked. To be honest, most of them thought that Chen Fan's watch was fake before, after all, it cost hundreds of thousands. Awesome. He's only a sophomore and he's already wearing a watch worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's amazing. Everyone was talking about it and were extremely envious of Chen Fan. You didn't make a mistake, did you? Is this watch really real? Chen Haoyu questioned the appraiser. This Patek Philippe is absolutely genuine. I can guarantee it 100%, but... The appraiser hesitated to speak. Finally, he gritted his teeth and looked at Chen Fan politely. Sir, what model of Patek Philippe is this? He has been identifying various famous watches for 7 or 8 years. He has come across all kinds of top-level famous watches, ranging from tens of thousands to millions. But for his ignorance, he really couldn't recognize the one in front of him. Mine is a Patek Philippe Grandmaster chime. Chen Fan answered casually. Oh, it's the Patek Philippe Grandmaster chime. No, what did you say? The appraiser didn't think anything of it at first, but when he realized what was happening, his face changed instantly. He couldn't believe his ears. Is this the sound of the Patek Philippe Grandmaster chime? Is this the legendary Patek Philippe commemorative watch that is limited to 7 pieces worldwide? The appraiser asked with a trembling voice. A watch of this level, let alone him, even his master is not qualified to see it, so it is normal that he cannot recognize it. Chen Fan nodded calmly. Hiss. The appraiser took a deep breath and was deeply frightened. What? Chen Fan's Patek Philippe isn't just an ordinary model. This watch is limited to only 7 pieces worldwide. Chen Fan is really awesome. A watch of this level probably costs more than hundreds of thousands. I would conservatively estimate it to be over $1 million. As for Chen Yitsue and her brother, they were also frightened. Appraiser, how much does a watch like this cost? Someone asked loudly out of curiosity. It's hard to estimate how much a watch of this level would cost. We may have to wait until it goes on auction to find out. But my conservative estimate is that it would be at least 8 figures. The appraiser thought for a moment and answered cautiously. 8 digits? 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. An 8-digit number means tens of millions. And the appraiser hasn't said what the first number of this 8-digit number is. My God, a watch by Chen Fan would cost at least 10 million. What the hell, what the hell, what the hell? This is like wearing a top-notch villa on your hand. In an instant, the scene became lively. Boss, you are my idol. Mr. Chen, are you in need of a younger brother? I can be your younger brother. Student Chen, are you free tonight? I'd like to invite you to watch a movie. I'm 34D. Countless people rushed over to the scene and looked at Chen Fan with admiration. Chen Fan's reputation reached its peak in an instant. After knowing the value of Chen Fan's watch, Chen Yitsue and her sister were shocked as if they were struck by lightning. An 8-digit watch, this is too scary, even they are not qualified to own a watch of this level. Why does Chen Fan have such a watch? Especially now, seeing that Chen Fan not only did not lose face, but also became famous and became a celebrity in the school, Chen Yitsue and her brother were even more furious. They are making things difficult for Chen Fan. Bite. Agree to appraise my own watch and let Chen Haoyu know what a global limited edition watch is. Mission accomplished. Congratulations on winning, top cooking skills. Congratulations on obtaining 37 experience points. At this time, the voice of the system came. Immediately afterwards, a huge number of synonyms entered Chen Fan's mind. In an instant, Chen Fan possessed master-level cooking skills. A few minutes later, the professor who was giving the lecture arrived, and Chen Yitsue and the others left reluctantly. After the lecture, countless people surrounded Chen Fan again, and there were even quite a few bold girls who flirted with him. Chen Fan finally managed to escape from the crowd. There was no class, so Chen Fan drove directly back to Yujing Villa. Around 5 or 6 in the afternoon, there was a knock on the door. Chen Fan opened the door of the villa and saw that it was Xie Ruoxue. Although Xie Ruoxue had changed into a very ordinary casual outfit at this moment, her beautiful face was still difficult to conceal. Looking at Xie Ruoxue's sudden visit, Chen Fan was a little surprised. Mr. Chen, I want to invite you to my house for dinner. Xie Ruoxue invited with a little trepidation. This was the first time she took the initiative to invite a boy to her home, so she was inevitably a little nervous. In order to express her gratitude to Chen Fan for helping her solve the raw material supplier crisis yesterday, Xie Ruoxue wants to cook personally tonight and treat Chen Fan to dinner. Chen Fan happened to have nothing to do, so he agreed. Half an hour later, Chen Fan took a bottle of good red wine from the villa's private wine cellar and came to Xie Ruoxue's villa. Hearing the knock on the door, Xie Ruoxue, wearing an apron, came over to open the door. Mr. Chen is here, please take a seat, the food will take a while to prepare. Good. Chen Fan sat down and Xie Ruoxue went to the kitchen. After a while, there were clanging sounds coming from the kitchen. Out of curiosity, Chen Fan came to the kitchen and saw Xie Ruoxue, who was a little flustered. Seeing this, Xie Ruoxue said a little embarrassedly, I haven't cooked for a few years, so I'm a little rusty. I'm free, let me help you. Chen Fan spoke. Having just acquired top-level cooking skills today, Chen Fan wanted to give it a try to see how useful the skills rewarded by the system are and what their level is. Chen Fan noticed that Xie Ruoxue bought a very large Australian lobster, and thought of the typhoon shelter lobster he had eaten at Wangang Pavilion before, and immediately had an idea. Chen Fan started cleaning the lobsters in the kitchen. A few minutes later, Xie Ruoxue's shredded potatoes with vinegar were ready. Mr. Chen, please try it. Xie Ruoxue took out chopsticks and handed them to Chen Fan. This was the first dish she made, and she was looking forward to Chen Fan's evaluation. It's a pity that Chen Fan's hands were still busy processing the lobster and he had no time to spare. It's not very convenient, why don't we eat later? Chen Fan shrugged helplessly. Seeing this, Xie Ruoxue hesitated for a moment, then picked up a piece of food with chopsticks and fed it to Chen Fan gently. Chen Fan just opened his mouth. Just then, a cry of surprise was heard. Chapter 21, The Fifth Day of Severing Ties, Rewards for Top Shopping. Sister, Senior Chen, I was almost fooled by you. You said you two were just ordinary friends, but I found out. Xia Mengmeng stood in front of the kitchen door, staring with big eyes and a smug expression. She had just returned to the villa and heard some noise in the kitchen, so she came over to take a look. Unexpectedly, she saw her sister Xie Ruoxue using her own chopsticks to feed Chen Fan. Xia Mengmeng knows her sister quite well. Given my sister's personality, if she was just an ordinary friend and she didn't have any affection for him, she would never do this. Well, Mr. Chen was handling the lobster with both hands, so it was inconvenient, so I fed it to him. Xie Ruoxue coughed dryly and explained. Sister, you don't have to explain. I understand. Xia Mengmeng smiled mysteriously, then left on her own initiative, leaving the two with some private space. How does it taste? Looking at Chen Fan tasting the first dish he made, Xie Ruoxue asked expectantly. It's not bad. I haven't cooked for a long time. This is the first dish I made. It's pretty good. Looking at Xie Ruoxue's expectant expression, Chen Fan suppressed the urge to complain. Really? Xie Ruoxue was suddenly very excited. So she quickly started to make the second one. Chen Fan's lobsters are almost processed, and the typhoon shelter lobsters can be officially started. More than half an hour later, Chen Fan and Xie Ruoxue each came out of the kitchen carrying 2 plates of food. Wow! Xia Mengmeng was eager to try. Mengmeng, guess which 2 dishes were made by me and which 2 dishes were made by Mr. Chen? Xie Ruoxue spoke. Good. Xia Mengmeng picked up the chopsticks, tasted several dishes, and immediately made a judgment, and guessed correctly. Meng, how did you guess so accurately? Xia Ruoshui asked doubtfully. Sister, of these 4 dishes, 2 of them tasted, average, about the same as mine, and the other 2 were simply the best typhoon shelter lobster and coke chicken wings I've ever had. Xia Mengmeng spoke up, this is so easy to tell. Is the gap that big? Xia Ruoshui picked up the chopsticks in surprise and tasted it. She first tasted the 2 dishes she had made. Not very good, just edible. But when she tasted a piece of the typhoon shelter lobster made by Chen Fan, her expression froze instantly. Mr. Chen, are you such a good cook? Xia Ruoshui looked at Chen Fan with her beautiful eyes wide open in surprise. It's just barely possible. Chen Fan spoke modestly. He had just tasted it in the kitchen. It was indeed a top-level skill rewarded by the system. It could even surpass the best chef in Wangang Pavilion. Mr. Chen, you are awesome. Xia Ruoshui looked at Chen Fan with great admiration. Mr. Chen is so young, but he has such amazing cooking skills. Whoever marries Mr. Chen in the future will be in for a treat. Unconsciously, Chen Fan's status in Xia Ruoshui's heart rose again. After having dinner at Xia Ruoshui's house and staying for a while, Chen Fan left. The next morning, the system's voice came. Bite. On the 5th day of severing ties, reward, 100% ownership of Yongjie Shopping Center. Yongjie Shopping Center? Today's system reward was beyond Chen Fan's expectations. Yongjie Shopping Center, one of the top shopping centers in Jiangzhou, gathers many international luxury brands and is well known in Jiangzhou. Unexpectedly, this time, the system actually gave me the entire Yongjie Shopping Center. The value of Yongjie Shopping Center should be around 1.4 billion or 1.5 billion. In an instant, Chen Fan's net worth not only exceeded 5 billion, but also exceeded an astonishing 6 billion. In just 5 days, his net worth exceeded 6 billion. This speed is simply astonishing. A satisfied smile appeared on Chen Fan's face. If I continue at this pace, in 4 days at most, my net worth will exceed 10 billion, making me a billionaire. By then, he would join the ranks of Jiangzhou's big men and become Jiangzhou's youngest billionaire. Thinking about it, Chen Fan couldn't help but get excited. According to Chen Fan's estimation, all the assets of the Chen family should be around 40 to 50 billion. If my net worth continues to increase at the current rate, in a little over a month at most, my net worth alone will surpass that of the entire Chen family. If the system can be upgraded to the next level within this month, then by then, in less than a month, my net worth alone will be able to surpass that of the Chen family. In less than 2 months, Chen Fan will become the new richest man in Jiangzhou. Then, let us see who will regret it. Just as Chen Fan was making his plan, a strange phone call suddenly came in. Excuse me, is this Mr. Chen Fan? I am the former owner of Yongjie Shopping Center. I have received the money. When are you available to sign the transfer contract? The former owner of Yongjie Shopping Center asked. Is 4:30 this afternoon okay? Chen Fan spoke. This afternoon at 4:30, no problem. The 2 parties agreed to sign the transfer contract at Yongjie Shopping Center at 4:30 p.m. On the other hand, the news that Wangang Pavilion had changed its owner also spread, which surprised many bigwigs and wealthy people in Jiangzhou. As for who the new boss of Wangang Pavilion is, no one knows. For a time, who was the person who acquired Wangang Pavilion became the focus of attention of countless bigwigs in Jiangzhou. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a man dressed in a black suit, sunglasses, and like a bodyguard, walked into Wangang Pavilion. I want to see your boss. Right at the beginning, the man in sunglasses got straight to the point. Meet our boss. Our boss is not here. May I ask what I can do for you? I am the manager of Wangang Pavilion. Manager Zhao asked in surprise. Give. Under Manager Zhao's surprised gaze, the man in sunglasses took out an invitation and handed it to him in a very formal manner. Manager Zhao took the invitation, opened it, and his heart seemed to stop beating. At this moment, he couldn't believe the name on the invitation. Chapter 22, Special Invitation from Jiangzhou Boss, Reward for Private Booking. My God, this invitation was sent by that big guy. It's unbelievable, too unbelievable. Please give it to your boss. After saying that, the man in sunglasses left, and Manager Zhao prepared to call his boss to tell him about the invitation letter. Just as he took out his cell phone, a waiter came running over. "Oh no, Manager Zhao, something happened in room 7. The waiter reported in a panic. What's going on?" Manager Zhao asked quickly. "The guests in room 7 said that our dishes today were not tasty and asked if we were targeting them on purpose. They looked like they were going to smash something." The waiter answered. "What?" Manager Zhao frowned. "Manager Zhao, I don't think these two people are here to have dinner. They seem to be here to cause trouble on purpose." The waiter whispered. "Are you here to cause trouble on purpose? Let's go and take a look." Manager Zhao, led by the waiter, came to private room number 7. At this moment, there were two thin middle-aged men sitting in the private room, and next to them were 4 or 5 burly men, who seemed to be the bodyguards of the two middle-aged men. "Excuse me, bosses, what happened?" As soon as he came in, Manager Zhao asked with an apologetic smile. "Your food isn't as good as the last time someone treated us to a meal. Do you think we're easy to bully and deliberately make the food taste terrible? That's it. Call your boss and give us an explanation. Otherwise, we will smash the store." Two middle-aged men threatened. Manager Zhao was confused by what the two said. There had never been any problem with their meals, and today's chef was the same chef as before. "Well, gentlemen, we are sorry for not treating you well today. How about this, we will give you a free meal today, okay?" Manager Zhao gave a solution. "No, are we short of this little money?" "That's right, your boss must come. If your boss doesn't come, we will smash the store today." Two middle-aged men shouted. "All right." Manager Zhao left reluctantly. At this moment, he was even more certain that the two middle-aged men were definitely here to cause trouble, and their purpose was to meet their boss. Manager Zhao made a phone call and reported to Chen Fan how the two middle-aged men were deliberately causing trouble. Making trouble? Chen Fan raised his eyebrows. Just then, the system's voice came. "Bite. Mission, go to Wangang Pavilion and see what these two middle-aged men are going to do. Task reward, a custom-made Rolls-Royce Phantom. Task reward, 47 experience points." Looking at the task sent by the system, Chen Fan was both surprised and delighted. Chen Fan had previously planned to buy another luxury business car. After all, his huge garage is now too empty with only a Lamborghini parked in it. Moreover, the Lamborghini can only seat 2 people. If there are more people, there will be no space. I didn't expect that the reward for this system task would be a Rolls-Royce Phantom, and it was a custom-made one, which was much more expensive than an ordinary Rolls-Royce Phantom. Moreover, sometimes, a customized Rolls-Royce Phantom is not something that can be bought with money. Okay, I'll go over and take a look. The get-out of class was just over and Chen Fan was about to leave for Yongjia Shopping Center. Now we can take a DT and go to Wangang Pavilion to deal with things first. Half an hour later, Chen Fan arrived at the restaurant. Guessing that the other party was going to cause trouble, Chen Fan gathered together more than 20 security personnel of the restaurant as soon as he arrived. A few minutes later, Chen Fan, with a large group of Wangang Pavilion security personnel, came to private room 7. Before Chen Fan entered, he heard rampant voices coming from inside. "Why hasn't your boss come yet?" "That's right, believe it or not, I smashed your store." Two middle-aged men shouted. The 4 or 5 bodyguards were also eager to try, looking like they were going to smash the store. But before they could finish their words, a domineering voice was heard. "You want to smash my store? I'll see who dares." The next second, under the astonished gaze of the two middle-aged men, Chen Fan walked in with more than 20 security personnel. Seeing this, the middle-aged man's bodyguards lowered their heads instantly. Although they were big in size, facing enemies for 5 times their number, they could only admit defeat. "Who are you?" I am the boss of Wangang Pavilion." Chen Fan spoke slowly. "You are the boss of Wangang Pavilion, are you kidding me?" The two middle-aged men were stunned and didn't believe Chen Fan's words at all. "How old is this kid in front of me? He is probably less than 20 years old. How could he be the boss of Wangang Pavilion? This is our boss, Mr. Chen." Seeing this, Manager Zhao stepped forward and introduced again. At this point, the two middle-aged men were completely dumbfounded. They stared at Chen Fan in amazement. He is really the new boss of Wangang Pavilion. Oh my god, this is too young. So what if you are the boss of Wangang Pavilion? We didn't enjoy the meal today. If you don't give us an explanation, you will be in trouble. One of the tall middle-aged men shouted. Yes, if you don't give us a satisfactory answer, we will definitely help you promote Wangang Pavilion and make you famous. Another middle-aged man said with a hint of meaning. For a restaurant, reputation is very important. The tall middle-aged man wanted to threaten Chen Fan, but before he could open his mouth, Manager Zhao ran in. Excuse me, boss. I just found out you've arrived. Here's the invitation I sent you earlier. Manager Zhao spoke. Who sent the invitation? Chen Fan asked. It's Wei Jingxiong, boss Wei's. Manager Zhao replied. Wei Jingxiong. Upon hearing this name, the tall middle-aged man who was about to shout instantly wilted. Wei Jingxiong, one of the big bosses in Jiangzhou, owns a large security company and has shares in many entertainment venues in Jiangzhou. Wei Jingxiong is the kind of hero who can make the ground tremble when he stomps his feet. These people would never dare to offend him. Oh, Wei Jingxiong, what did he invite me to do? Chen Fan was even more surprised. Chen Fan had also heard of Wei Jingxiong's name. But the two of them don't know each other. Boss Wei invites you to have tea at his house tomorrow. Manager Zhao replied. What? Wei Jingxiong invited the boy to his house for tea. What the hell? What the hell? The two middle-aged men who were looking for trouble turned pale with fright at what Manager Zhao said. Who is Wei Jingxiong? He is the big boss of Jiangzhou. What could be the identity of the guest he invited? Even if his status is not more impressive than Wei Jingxiong, it must be similar to Wei Jingxiong. Otherwise, why would Wei Jingxiong invite him? The more they thought about it, the more scared the two middle-aged men became when looking at Chen Fan. For a moment, their legs went weak. Okay, I got it. Chen Fan nodded. Chen Fan took the invitation and looked at the two middle-aged men. In an instant, the two middle-aged men knelt down and revealed the mastermind behind the scenes. Chapter 23, Damn, what is Chen Fan's bank balance? Mr. Chen, we were wrong. Mr. Chen, let's be honest. It was the owner of Xianlu, Luo Zhixin, who paid us to come here and cause trouble for you. Yes, Mr. Chen, we are just doing things for money, please don't bother with us. The two middle-aged men did not dare to hide it and directly explained the reason to Chen Fan. Xianlu is the second-ranked restaurant in Jiangzhou, second only to Wangjiang. Luo Zhixin, the owner of Xianlu, so that Wangjiang had a new owner and it was a turbulent period, so he wanted to take this opportunity to ruin Wangjiang's reputation and then surpass Wangjiang to become the number one in Jiangzhou. If possible, it would be better if he could buy Wangang Pavilion at a low price after ruining it. Did the boss of Xianlu, Luo Zhixin, ask you to come? This answer was within Chen Fan's expectations. Good man, now I'm being bullied. Chen Fan sneered. This time, he picked on the wrong person. Manager Zhao, send them directly to the police station. Chen Fan ordered. Don't, Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen, we were wrong. After hearing what Chen Fan said, the two middle-aged men immediately panicked. In the end, these people were taken away by the security personnel of Wangang Pavilion. Chen Fan opened the invitation letter and took a look. It was indeed sent by the Jiangzhou boss, Wei Jingxiong, and it seemed to be handwritten. Tomorrow. Chen Fan muttered softly, tomorrow is the weekend, let's see then. Just then, the system's voice came. Bite. Go to Wangang Pavilion and see what these two middle-aged men are doing. Mission accomplished. Congratulations on winning a custom-made Rolls-Royce Phantom. Congratulations on obtaining 47 experience points. Mission accomplished. A customized Rolls-Royce and 47 experience points are obtained. Chen Fan looked at his total experience value again. Current system level 11951500. Only 1305 experience points are needed to level up, this speed is good. Chen Fan was quite satisfied. It has only been 2 or 3 days since I turned on the system upgrade mode, but I have already accumulated nearly 200 experience points. Now, I have collected almost 1/7 of the experience points needed to upgrade. This speed is really fast. At this rate, even with the most conservative estimate, the system can definitely be upgraded to level 2 within a month. By then, the system's daily rewards will increase a lot. At that time, I will be closer to my goal of trampling the Jinling Xu family under my feet. Zuixianlu, Luo Jixin. Chen Fan muttered softly. He has a lot of things to do now. Once he finishes the things at hand, it will be Luo Jixin's time to get into trouble. Since Luo Jixin doesn't want to acquire my Wangang Pavilion, then I will find a way to acquire his Zuixianlu first and give him a taste of his own medicine. If you have any questions in the future, please contact me as soon as possible. After Chen Fan gave some instructions to Manager Zhao, he left Wangang Pavilion. When Chen Fan arrived at Yongjie Shopping Center, it was around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The time that Chen Fan agreed with the former owner of Yongjie Shopping Center was for 30 p.m., and there was still half an hour left. Chen Fan took advantage of this half hour to go shopping in Yongjie Shopping Center. When he left Chen's house, he only took a few pieces of clothes with him. Now his clothes are not enough to wear, so he wants to buy some new ones. Chen Fan found the nearest store and walked in. Before long, Chen Fan had picked out a large pile of clothes. Just as Chen Fan was about to pay, a surprised voice was heard. "Hey, isn't this Chen Fan? You've severed ties with the Chen family, and you still dare to come to this luxury store. Do you have money?" A young man came over and said sarcastically. The young man's name is Zhu Pinyu. He is from the Xu family, another big family in Jiangzhou. Zhu Pinyu and Chen Fan have always had a bad relationship. Although you are still in the Xu family, what difference does it make if you sever ties with the Xu family? Chen Fan responded bluntly. Upon hearing what Chen Fan said, Zhu Pinyu was immediately furious. Zhu Pinyu is an illegitimate child and his status in the Xu family is extremely low. It is estimated that his status is not much better than when he was in the Chen family. After saying that, Chen Fan ignored Zhu Pinyu and went to pay the bill. "Humph, a piece of clothing here costs tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands. You took so much at once, can you afford it?" Zhu Pinyu said sarcastically. Chen Fan took at least a dozen pieces of clothes and pants, which added up to a conservative estimate of hundreds of thousands. Zhu Pinyu just couldn't believe that Chen Fan, an abandoned young man who had severed ties with the Chen family, could come up with so much money. "You don't have enough money later, what will you do?" Zhu Pinyu also followed and planned to go to the show. A few minutes later, the staff finished the count. "Sir, these clothes you have are worth a total of 1,276,000 yuan. Would you like to pay by credit card, or?" The staff said. "More than 1,000,000. Zhu Pinyu was shocked. "This is too much. Just a few pieces of clothing cost more than 1,000,000. They are truly luxury goods." Not to mention Chen Fan, an abandoned young man, even he couldn't come up with so much money. He wanted to see how Chen Fan would take out the 1,000,000 and how he would pay. Compared with Zhu Pinyu's surprise after hearing the price, Chen Fan was extremely calm, as if he had heard not more than 1,000,000, but more than 100 yuan. "Just scan me." Chen Fan opened the payment code and put the phone on the front desk. "Okay." The staff scans directly. The next second, a text message came from the bank. "Your card with the last digit 5169 has a spending of 1,276,000 and a balance of RMB. Next to him, Zhu Pinyu, who was planning to make a fool of himself by watching Chen Fan for not being able to come up with the money, happened to see this text message. In an instant, Zhu Pinyu was stunned. "Oh my god, how come Chen Fan's balance has so many numbers? The balance seems to be 8 or 9 digits. If it is 8 digits, it would be more than 90 million. If it is 9 digits, it would be more than 900 million. At this moment, Zhu Pinyu's heart seemed to stop beating. Not to mention more than 900 million, even more than 90 million is a huge sum of money for him. Even though he is a member of the Xu family, there are only a few 100,000 in his bank card, not even a fraction of Chen Fan's balance. Not to mention his illegitimate son, even the most powerful one among the younger generation of their Xu family, who has at most 20 or 30 million in his hands, is far inferior to Chen Fan. How could Chen Fan have so much money? This is too terrifying. Standing there, Zhu Pinyu seemed to be struck by lightning, motionless and terrified. Chen Fan, on the other hand, left easily, carrying large and small bags. For him, more than 1 million was not even a drop in the bucket. After Chen Fan put all the clothes he bought into the car, he saw that it was almost time. Chen Fan went straight to the top floor of Yongjie Shopping Center. A few minutes later, Chen Fan arrived at the office on the top floor. At this moment, the former owner of Yongjie Shopping Center was already waiting there. The two sides shook hands and got to know each other. After a few simple and subtle words, the two parties formally signed the contract. Once the contract was signed, from that moment on, one of Jiangzhou's top shopping malls, Yongjie Shopping Center, belonged to Chen Fan. After finishing this, the former boss took his things and left, and this luxurious office became Chen Fan's. Chen Fan sat in the office for a while, and suddenly thought of something, a relatively important thing. Chapter 24, 6th Day of Severing Ties, Reward for the World's Top Black. It's time to use the random skill selection card that I got from the previous mission. Before, Chen Fan hadn't figured out how to use this random skill selection card, or which skill to choose, but now he has an idea. At present, Chen Fan can think of two skills, namely top fighting skills and top financial management skills. First of all, the top fighting skills were what Chen Fan thought of based on what happened in Wangang Pavilion today. In fact, Chen Fan had this idea before. If they were not on his own territory today, if a fight really came to a head, he, an ordinary student, would definitely not be a match for those burly bodyguards. Later, if I agree to the invitation and go to Wei Jingxiong's manor, who knows what will happen? Facing a big boss like Wei Jingxiong, I have mastered top-level fighting skills and can be prepared for any eventuality. These are secondary. The most important thing is that I have to deal with the Xu family in Jinling later. Just in case the Xu family of Jinling becomes desperate and wants to fight to the death with him, Chen Fan will have the ability to protect himself after mastering top-level fighting skills. If you encounter any danger in the future, you will be able to deal with it calmly. The second top financial management skill. As one's net worth increases and the number of properties under his name increases, financial management skills become increasingly important. After all, Chen Fan was just an ordinary sophomore student and didn't know much about economic management. It's okay now, but if in the future, the number of industries under Chen Fan's name reaches 10, 20, or even more, Chen Fan will not be able to cope with it. Without top financial management skills, problems are likely to occur, such as mismanagement, corporate bankruptcy, etc. Unfortunately, Chen Fan currently only has one, any skill selection card, so he can only choose one skill, not both. Chen Fan was in a dilemma. After a long time, Chen Fan came up with an idea. Just choose the top-level fighting skills first to ensure your own safety, and then learn the financial management skills when you have the opportunity later. After all, he doesn't have many industries now, so he can still cope with it and is not so anxious. And with the system in place, there is no need to worry about not acquiring top-level management skills in the future. After making the decision, Chen Fan opened the system and found the random skill selection card. Byte. Please enter the name of the selected skill. The system prompt pops up. Top fighting skills. Chen Fan typed it in. Byte. Congratulations on obtaining top fighting skills and becoming a top fighting master. A few seconds later, an extremely large amount of brain memory and muscle memory flooded into Chen Fan's mind and body. After a long while, Chen Fan slowly opened his eyes. Chen Fan clenched his fists and felt that his strength was much stronger than before. If Chen Fan were to meet the two middle-aged men who were causing trouble in Wangang Pavilion again, he could deal with their bodyguards with one hand without even breathing a breath. Having become a top fighting master, Chen Fan will be able to face any danger with ease in the future. It was getting late, so Chen Fan left the office and drove home. On the way, Chen Fan sent a message to manager Zhao of Wangang Pavilion, asking him to investigate the personal information of Luo Zhixin, the owner of Zuixianlu, and asked manager Zhao to summarize this information about Luo Zhixin into a document and send it to him before tomorrow night. As the saying goes, knowing yourself and your enemy will ensure victory in every battle. After that, if Chen Fan wanted to deal with Luo Zhixin, he naturally had to understand the other party first. Got it, boss. Manager Zhao took action immediately. After returning home, Chen Fan just drove to the garage and saw a black Rolls-Royce parked there from a distance. This is the privately customized Rolls-Royce Phantom that Chen Fan just got after completing a mission. Chen Fan parked the car, got out, and walked to the front of this privately customized Rolls-Royce Phantom, feeling a little emotional. Chen Fan is very familiar with the Rolls-Royce Phantom. When he was in the Chen family, several core figures of the Chen family, such as Mr. Chen's third son and others, drove Rolls-Royce Phantoms. However, their Rolls-Royce Phantom cannot compare with Chen Fan's. Chen Fan's one can buy several of theirs. Chen Fan opened the car door and got in to experience it. The feeling of a business luxury car is indeed different from that of a supercar. After admiring his own customized Rolls-Royce Phantom, Chen Fan returned to the villa. Time flies, and the next morning, the system's voice came. Bite. On the 6th day of severing the relationship, you will be rewarded with the world's top black card, a MasterCard black card from the First Royal Bank of the oil country, now stored in your villa study. Please check it. Looking at the system's reward, Chen Fan was extremely surprised. He really didn't expect that the reward from the system today would be a MasterCard black card from the First Royal Bank of the oil country. Chen Fan had heard of the name of this black card. The MasterCard black card issued by the First Royal Bank of the oil country is one of the world's top black cards. Its owners are mostly royal families, wealthy people, and top dignitaries from all over the world. Compared to black cards from other banks, the oil country First Royal Bank MasterCard black card is more special and rarer. More importantly, you can't get this kind of black card just because you have money. The oil country First Royal Bank MasterCard black card is by invitation only. You need to be invited by the oil country First Group to become the owner of the distinguished oil country First Royal Bank MasterCard black card. No matter how rich you are, you can't have it if you are not invited. The First Royal Bank of the oil country provides all black card users with a 24-hour service team that can resolve any requests made by card holders. More importantly, the oil country First Royal Bank MasterCard black card has no limit on the amount, so the holder can spend as much as they want. At the same time, owners of the oil country First Royal Bank MasterCard black card also enjoy great privileges such as access to VIP lounges at global airports, exclusive privileges at the world's top private clubs, etc. It is a symbol of top identity and status. If Chen Fan guessed correctly, he should be the first person in the entire Jiangzhou to own a MasterCard black card from the First Royal Bank of the oil country. Not only Mr. Chen, but even the richest man in Jiangzhou doesn't he have this special black card. The rewards from the system this time are extremely generous. Thinking of this, Chen Fan couldn't wait to come to the villa's study. From a distance, Chen Fan saw a very special black bank card placed on his desk. When Chen Fan walked over and took a look, he couldn't help but sigh that the oil-producing country was indeed famous for its rich people. This First Royal Bank MasterCard black card from the oil country is really different from other black cards. Chapter 25 Join forces to kick Chen Fan out of Tungfei Group. The periphery of this oil country's First Royal MasterCard black card is embellished with gold, and in the center of the entire bank card there is a natural diamond. Not to mention anything else, just the gold embellishments and the natural diamond are worth a lot of money. But compared with the gold content represented by this oil country's First Royal MasterCard black card, these gold and diamonds are not worth mentioning at all. Chen Fan quite likes the system's reward today. While Chen Fan was studying the oil country's First Royal MasterCard black card, on the other side, in the Tungfei Group, the second largest shareholder of Tungfei Group, Feng Yanli, found the largest shareholder of Tungfei Group, who is also the actual controller of Tungfei Group, Jiangzhou. What's the matter, Mr. Feng, that you suddenly came to me for? Facing Feng Yanli's sudden visit, Jiangzhou asked with a sense of distance. As the company's top two shareholders, the two naturally did not get along well, especially Feng Yanli, who was secretly buying up shares of the company's small shareholders and coveting his position as the largest shareholder. Boss Jiang, I want to join hands with you to remove the third largest shareholder Chen Fan from all his positions in the company and kick him out. Feng Yanli's tone was full of resentment towards Chen Fan. Before, Mr. Kong from Yum Brands sent someone to specifically instruct him to control the Tungfei Group and never let the Tungfei Group cooperate with the Xia Group. As a result, Chen Fan interfered and actually made the Xia Group and their Tungfei Group sign a long-term cooperation agreement. This aroused the anger of Mr. Kong, who scolded him. Later, Mr. Kong asked him to teach this disobedient Chen Fan a lesson. So Feng Yanli put aside his pride and took the initiative to ask for help from his opponent, Jiangzhou. He hopes that both parties can reach an agreement and kick Chen Fan out of the company together. As long as the first and second largest shareholders of Tungfei Group join forces, plus some small shareholders, this can definitely be done easily. Kick Chen Fan out of the company. Jiangzhou was extremely surprised at Feng Yanli's request. As long as President Jiang agrees to cooperate with me, I will follow President Jiang's instructions in the company. I owe President Jiang a big favor. Feng Yanli lowered his posture and asked Jiang Hao for help. Finally, after Feng Yanli's assurances and nice words, Jiang Hao agreed. We will hold a board meeting tomorrow to deal with this matter. Jiang Hao spoke. Thank you, Mr. Jiang, for that. Feng Yanli smiled particularly happily. By kicking Chen Fan out of the company, he would definitely satisfy President Kong and even gain his appreciation. By then, with the support of Mr. Kong, wouldn't it be easy for him to replace Jiang Hao? He just used Jiang Hao as a gun. Tomorrow is the day when Chen Fan will be fired. You deserve it if you dare to offend him and Yum. Brands. Feng Yanli left with satisfaction. In the office, a sneer appeared on Jiang Hao's face. In fact, compared to kicking Chen Fan out of the company, what he wanted to do more was kicking Jiang Hao out of the company. This has been something Jiang Hao has been dreaming about for the past 1 or 2 years. Unfortunately, the two of them have almost the same shares in the company, and he can't do anything to Jiang Hao. Jiang Hao just agreed to Feng Yanli's request, but it was just verbal agreement. He actually had another idea in his mind. Since Feng Yanli is targeting Chen Fan, can I turn around and unite with Chen Fan to kick Feng Yanli out of the company? It's not impossible. Of course, the prerequisite is that the company's third largest shareholder, Chen Fan, has some strength and courage. If Chen Fan didn't have that ability, he could only say sorry to Chen Fan. He decided to meet Chen Fan first before deciding what choice he would make. Thinking of this, Jiang Hao called his confidant, Jing Xingder, the current president of Tongfei Group. He asked him to invite Chen Fan to have dinner together tonight, saying that he had something important to discuss with Chen Fan. 10 minutes later, Chen Fan received a call from Jing Xingder. Invite me to dinner tonight. Chen Fan was a little surprised. As expected, the more industries and assets you have, the busier you are. This afternoon, Jiangzhou boss Wei Jingxiong invited him for tea, and now in the evening, the largest shareholder of Tongfei Group is inviting him to dinner again to discuss important matters. Okay, I agree. See you tonight. Chen Fan agreed. Since it was an important matter, Chen Fan naturally had to go. What's more, he was the third largest shareholder of Tongfei Group and had no reason to refuse. As for Wei Jingxiong's invitation this afternoon, Chen Fan fell into deep thought. Just then, the system's voice came. Byte. Temporary mission released. Accept Wei Jingxiong's invitation and go to his manor for tea. Task reward, 8% of Tongfei Group S shares. Task reward, 51 experience points. Huh. Is the system challenging you again? Looking at the system's tasks, Chen Fan's eyes lit up. Now, he had no reason to refuse Wei Jingxiong's invitation. What's more, he had just acquired top-level fighting skills yesterday, so he didn't have to worry about any accidents even if he went. The reward for this mission is 8% of the shares of Tongfei Group. If the mission is completed, plus the previous ones, Chen Fan will have a full 20% of the shares of Tongfei Group. As far as Chen Fan knew, Feng Yanli, the second largest shareholder of Tongfei Group, seemed to only hold 20.3% of the shares. He was only 0.4% away from surpassing him. And with this 8% of the shares, Chen Fan's net worth will officially exceed 7 billion. On the other side, in a coffee shop in Jiangzhou, Chen Yitsue was in a low mood because her previous plan against Chen Fan had failed. She couldn't even defeat a mere Chen Fan, how shameful. Seeing this, Chen Yitsue's best friend tried to persuade her. Yitsue, don't worry. This afternoon, I'm going to visit a big boss in Jiangzhou. How about this, you come with me and I'll introduce this big boss to you. At this time, Chen Yitsue's suitor, Zhu Hongyi, a direct descendant of the wealthy Zhu family, took the initiative to speak. If you can gain the appreciation of this big guy, maybe you can use his help to give that kid named Chen Fan a good beating. Hongyi, which boss are you going to meet? Chen Yitsue instantly perked up and asked excitedly. Wei Jingxiong, boss Wei. Zhu Hongyi said with admiration that heroes like Wei Jingxiong who had worked their way up from the bottom were idols worshipped by many young people. What? Wei Jingxiong, boss Wei. Chen Yitsue was delighted. She was well aware of Wei Jingxiong's reputation. Indeed, according to what Zhu Hongyi said, if he could be appreciated by the boss Wei Jingxiong. Not to mention such trivial matters as dealing with Chen Fan, even her status among the younger generation of the Chen family could be improved a lot. Huangyi, you are going to visit Boss Wei. Is it a bad idea to take me with you? Although Chen Yitsue really wanted to agree directly, she still pretended to be weak and acted like she didn't want to go for Zhu Huangyi's sake. It's okay. Seeing this, Zhu Huangyi quickly spoke. What Chen Yitsue said was very right. It was indeed not a good thing for him to bring an outsider suddenly. However, looking at Chen Yitsue's weak appearance, Zhu Huangyi simply forgot about whether it was good or not. Thank you so much, Huangyi. Chen Yitsue held Zhu Huangyi's hand and expressed her gratitude. I have never met a big man like Wei Jingxiong. When I see him today, you have to help me. Zhu Huangyi's heart beat faster when Chen Yitsue's delicate hand was held in his. No problem, these are just small things, I will definitely help you, definitely. Zhu Huangyi nodded repeatedly. Time flies. In the afternoon, Chen Fan drove his new car, a customized Rolls-Royce Phantom, straight to Wei Jingxiong's villa. On the other side, Chen Yitsue and Zhu Huangyi also set off. Chapter 26 Chen Yitsue, we can't see Boss Wei, Chen Fan. Because it was closer, Chen Yitsue and Zhu Huangyi arrived at Wei Jingxiong's manor earlier. Zhu Huangyi stopped the car. Chen Yitsue was obviously very nervous and was a little afraid to get out of the car. After all, Wei Jingxiong was a well-known hero in Jiangzhou and was famous for his ruthlessness. This time she suddenly followed Zhu Huangyi here. Who knows if Wei Jingxiong will be angry after seeing him? If Wei Jingxiong is angry, it is hard to say what he will do. The more she thought about it, the more scared Chen Yitsue felt. Yitsue, don't feel any psychological burden. Boss Wei and I are very familiar with each other. When the time comes, I will say something good about you in front of Boss Wei, and Boss Wei will definitely have a good impression of you. At that time, dealing with Chen Fan would be a piece of cake, right? It's just a matter of a word from Boss Wei. Zhu Huangyi comforted. That's right. Chen Yitsue nodded. When it came to teaching Chen Fan a lesson, Chen Yitsue immediately felt much better. What she wanted to do most now was to severely punish Chen Fan. If she could severely punish Chen Fan for a while, and make Chen Fan kneel down and return to the family to admit his mistakes, and marry the daughter of the Jinling Xu family, her grandfather would definitely look at her with admiration and give her more power in the Chen family, then she would have a brighter future. Chen Fan is her stepping stone to further advancement, she must deal with him. Taking a deep breath, Chen Yitsue and Zhu Huangyi got out of the car. As a big boss in Jiangzhou, Wei Jingxiong has many enemies, so there are several bodyguards standing guard in front of Wei Jingxiong's manor. Wei Jingxiong stepped forward and said politely to the leading bodyguard captain. Hello, please inform me that Zhu Huangyi, the third generation of the Xu family, is here to visit Boss Wei. Xu family's direct descendant. You wait here. The bodyguard captain glanced at Zhu Huangyi before walking into the manor to report. Do you still need to report? Chen Yitsue was a little disappointed. She thought Zhu Huangyi could go in directly to see Boss Wei. Notification is just a procedure. Boss Wei will definitely meet with me. Zhu Huangyi said with a solemn vow. Just as Zhu Huangyi and Chen Yitsue were waiting, a brand new Rolls-Royce Phantom slowly stopped beside them. Immediately afterwards, a person Chen Yitsue had never expected came down from the Rolls-Royce Phantom in a chic manner. Chen Fan is here. The new Rolls-Royce Phantom. Chen Yitsue looked at Chen Fan's new car in surprise and was filled with envy. In the Chen family, only some uncles can own a luxury car of this level, and it is impossible for the young generation like them to own one. Unexpectedly, after severing ties with the Chen family, Chen Fan not only did not become more destitute and miserable, but instead he rose to fame, wearing a Patek Philippe worth tens of millions and driving a Rolls-Royce worth tens of millions. This is better than the life of Chen Jianxu, the number one person of the younger generation in their Chen family. A useless freeloader. Because she was so jealous and resentful of Chen Fan, Chen Yitsue had no other way to satirize Chen Fan, and could only point at the issue of being a gigolo. After all, in her and other members of the Chen family's eyes, the reason why Chen Fan has everything he has now is because he is a gigolo at the hands of the Xia group. Did this guy get this Rolls-Royce Phantom by eating his wife's food? After hearing what Chen Yitsue said, Zhu Huangyi asked in confusion. He only drives a Bentley Continental worth 3 or 4 million, but this abandoned young man who cut off ties with the Chen family actually drives a Rolls-Royce. Yes, not only this Rolls-Royce, but also his other Lamborghini and the Patek Philippe he wears were all obtained by him by eating gigolo meals. Chen Yitsue said through gritting her teeth. What? Zhu Hongyi couldn't hold it in any longer. At this moment, he was extremely envious of Chen Fan. He owns a Rolls-Royce, a Lamborghini, and even a Patek Philippe by living off his wife. He is truly a role model for our generation. In an instant, Zhu Hongyi began to admire Chen Fan in his heart. Big brother, how did you do it? I want to learn from you. After all, having a free lunch is really good. However, in front of Chen Yitsue, Zhu Hongyi had to pretend to look down on Chen Fan. Har har, you are indeed a waste. Zhu Hongyi opened his mouth, but what he actually wanted to say was that Chen Fan was a god. Chen Fan, is this also a place you can come to? Chen Yitsue sneered loudly. If you can come, why can't I come? Is this your home? Chen Fan retorted coldly. You are probably here to visit Boss Wei, but unfortunately, Boss Wei is not someone you, an abandoned son of the Chen family, can meet. In order to please Chen Yitsue, Zhu Hongyi also echoed. To tell you the truth, Hongyi and Boss Wei have known each other for a long time. Now the bodyguards of the Wei family have gone in to report. We will be able to see Boss Wei soon. As for you, Chen Fan, you can only stand pitifully in front of the gate and will never be able to get in. Chen Yitsue said proudly. Just then, the bodyguard captain who had just gone in to report came back. See, Chen Fan, we are about to go in. Chen Yitsue straightened her clothes, took Zhu Hongyi's arm, and prepared to enter Wei Jingxiong's manor. Our boss said he has important matters to attend to today and will not see any guests. However, the bodyguard captain's words left Chen Yitsue and Zhu Hongyi dumbfounded. Not seeing any guests? They can't go and see Boss Wei? Zhu Hongyi was stunned there, while Chen Yitsue's face turned red, and she was extremely embarrassed. She had just finished showing off in front of Chen Fan, but... Humph, we can't get in, we can't see Boss Wei, and we can't see Chen Fan either. Chen Yitsue comforted herself in her heart. Next to him, Chen Fan stepped forward and also came in front of the bodyguard captain. I want to see Wei Jingxiong, Boss Wei. Chen Fan spoke. Hearing what Chen Fan said, the bodyguard captain suddenly became impatient. Didn't I just say that their boss wouldn't see any guests today? Isn't this asking for trouble and asking for blame? Beside her, Chen Yitsue murmured with glee. She was waiting to see Chen Fan being driven away by the captain of the bodyguards. The bodyguard captain was about to scold Chen Fan, but before he could open his mouth, Chen Fan took out an invitation from his pocket and handed it to him. When the bodyguard captain took the invitation and looked at it, his face changed instantly. Is it you? The bodyguard captain's attitude towards Chen Fan immediately became extremely respectful. Please. The next second, under the astonished gazes of Chen Yitsue and Zhu Hongyi, the bodyguard captain respectfully invited Chen Fan in. Chapter 27, A few billion is not much, but it is just a day's income. How could this happen? How did Chen Fan get in? Didn't he, the bodyguard captain, just say that Wei Jingxiong had important matters to attend to today and would not be receiving any guests? How come Chen Fan was allowed in now, while they were pitifully stopped at the gate? Not to mention meeting boss Wei Jingxiong, they couldn't even enter his manor. What's going on? Chen Yitsue's face turned pale, she really couldn't understand. In the end, Chen Yitsue pushed all the responsibility onto Zhu Hongyi. How did you do that? Chen Yitsue asked dissatisfiedly. I didn't know it would be like this. How did that guy get in? Zhu Hongyi said helplessly. Chen Fan, a discarded young master who has severed ties with our Chen family, a loser who can only eat Xiaomenmen's soft rice, how can you get in? You are a direct descendant of the dignified Zhu family. Chen Yitsue continued. What did you say? Chen Fan is eating Xiaomenmen's money. Zhu Hongyi's jaw dropped. He had seen Xiaomenmen, the little daughter of the Xia group. She was extremely beautiful and far beyond the reach of Chen Yitsue. Just now Chen Yitsue said that Chen Fan was a gigolo, and Zhu Hongyi thought that Chen Fan was a gigolo of an old lady in her 60s or 70s. But now Chen Yitsue told him that Chen Fan was a gigolo of Xiaomenmen, who was young, beautiful, and had a strong background. This soft rice is so delicious. If he could eat Xiaomenmen's gigolo, he would wake up laughing in his dreams, and even severing his ties with the Zhu family would not be impossible. Who asked you that? I was asking you why you didn't go in. Chen Itsue scolded angrily. Fuck, Chen Fan is truly a role model and idol for my generation. He is truly a god. But at this moment, Zhu Hongyi could no longer listen to what Chen Itsue said. His mind was full of admiration for Chen Fan. Mr. Zhu, did you hear what I said? You can meet boss Wei Jingxiong, right? Why are we stopped here now? Chen Itsue reprimanded again. Stop cursing. It's not my fault that you can't meet boss Wei. If you have the ability, go and meet him yourself. Zhu Hongyi said impatiently. You, what's your attitude? Chen Itsue was stunned. Zhu Hongyi was her suitor, how dare he talk to her like that? What are you talking about? Go away, I don't want to see you anymore. I want to wait here for my idol to come out. I want to be his younger brother. Zhu Hongyi looked at Chen Fan's receding back in the manner with great admiration. At this moment, he admired Chen Fan to the extreme. He wanted to be Chen Fan's younger brother. As long as he could learn half of Chen Fan's, no. 1/5, no, even 1/10 would be fine. He was too lazy to pursue a green tea girl like Chen Itsue, who was just average looking. Now he had a higher goal. You. Chen Itsue was so angry that she was fuming. First, she was slapped in the face by Chen Fan, and now her pursuer said this to her. Chen Itsue was really embarrassed. Just you wait. In a fit of anger, Chen Itsue took a taxi and left. Zhu Hongyi was the only one left there, waiting anxiously for his idol Chen Fan. Inside the manor, led by the captain of the bodyguard team, Chen Fan walked towards the innermost part. Just now, the bodyguard captain has already notified the inside via the intercom. Knowing that the boss of Wangang Pavilion had arrived, Wei Jingxiong came out in person to welcome Chen Fan. When Wei Jingxiong saw that Chen Fan was so young, he was also shocked. The new boss of Wangang Pavilion is Chen Fan. Chen Fan introduced. The boss of Wei's security company, Wei Jingxiong. Wei Jingxiong also spoke. After saying that, Wei Jingxiong took the initiative to extend his hand and wanted to shake hands. Chen Fan also reached out and shook hands with Wei Jingxiong. The moment their hands touched, Wei Jingxiong suddenly exerted force, as if wanting to intimidate Chen Fan, whom he had just met. To be honest, Wei Jingxiong invited Chen Fan, no, to be more precise, invited the new boss of Wangang Pavilion to be his guest. He did not have good intentions. As a big boss in Jiangzhou, Wei Jingxiong also had his eyes on Wangang Pavilion. If he could take over Wangang Pavilion, the #1 restaurant in Jiangzhou, it would be of great help to the development of his industry. Today, he invited Chen Fan to come just to test Chen Fan's ability. If Chen Fan really has no strength, he would plan to take action. Facing Wei Jingxiong's sudden use of force, Chen Fan's expression remained calm, but he also increased his strength. Although Wei Jingxiong is a powerful man who has worked hard to reach his current position step by step and is very skilled, he is far from being a match for himself, a top fighting master. Looking back now, my previous decision to acquire top-level fighting skills first was an extremely correct one. As soon as Chen Fan exerted force, Wei Jingxiong felt something was wrong. Wei Jingxiong was unwilling to lose to Chen Fan like this, so he tried hard again. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tried, he gritted his teeth and his body trembled slightly, but he still couldn't beat Chen Fan. Chen Fan stood there calmly, seemingly unaffected by anything. Mr. Chen's strength is amazing. Wei is convinced. Finally, Wei Jingxiong couldn't stand it anymore and admitted defeat. I underestimated Mr. Chen. Apart from anything else, Mr. Chen's skills and strength are extraordinary. After hearing what Wei Jingxiong said, Chen Fan finally let go of his hand. In the first game, Chen Fan wins. Please. Wei Jingxiong made a gesture of invitation and invited Chen Fan in. At this moment, there was a man wearing silver-rimmed glasses and looking gentle in the living room. Let me introduce you. This is my assistant, Mr. Lu Jin. Wei Jingxiong said. Chen Fan had heard a little about this Mr. Lu. Although he was called an assistant, in fact, this Mr. Lu was more like Wei Jingxiong's military advisor. Chen Fan and Mr. Lu nodded to each other and got to know each other. As soon as he sat down, Wei Jingxiong planned to start formally testing Chen Fan. What just happened was just an appetizer, nothing special. The real thing is what's next. Mr. Chen, what do you think of Wei's manner? Wei Jingxiong asked. Not bad. Chen Fan nodded. Wei Jingxiong's manner was indeed good. If there was a chance, Chen Fan also wanted to build a big manor. Mr. Chen, you are too kind. My manor is actually very ordinary and not big enough. I plan to buy all the land within 2 kilometers around it to expand the manor. Wei Jingxiong spoke. By the way, Mr. Lu, how much does it cost to buy the 2-kilometer area around here? Wei Jingxiong looked at Mr. Lu. It's probably more than $1 billion. Mr. Lu tried to make an estimate. It's only a few billion, a small amount of money, just a few months' profit for our group. Wei Jingxiong said with great wealth. Beside him, Chen Fan did not say anything, but just complained in his heart. More than 1 billion is indeed a small amount of money, but it is just his day's earnings. Seeing that Chen Fan didn't seem to be shocked by his financial resources, Wei Jingxiong changed his approach. Chapter 28, the Jiangzhou boss who was arrogant at first and respectful later. By the way, Mr. Lu, how about the MasterCard black card I applied for? Wei Jingxiong looked at Mr. Lu again. Boss, it's been submitted for review for almost half a month. I think it should be almost done. With your worth, there won't be any problem with the application being approved. Mr. Lu agreed. He knew exactly what his boss wanted to do. These ideas of testing Chen Fan were the ones he had proposed to Wei Jingxiong before. That's okay. Wei Jingxiong nodded with satisfaction, then looked at Chen Fan. Mr. Chen, have you applied for a MasterCard black card? But before Chen Fan could answer, his cell phone suddenly rang. Chen Fan took a look and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. Chen Fan picked up the phone in surprise. Excuse me, is this Mr. Chen Fan? A middle-aged man's voice came from the other side. I'm Chen Fan, who are you? Dear Mr. Chen Fan, I am one of the domestic managers of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country. Since you have become the owner of our First Royal Bank of the Oil Country MasterCard Black Card, the bank has appointed me to be your bank steward. The man opposite introduced himself. Oh, you are the butler assigned to me by the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country. Chen Fan nodded and understood the other party's identity. Beside them, Wei Jingxiong and Mr. Lu both froze when they heard Chen Fan's words. Didn't they research various black cards some time ago, and therefore also saw the information of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country? Various black cards also have different levels. The black card of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country is one of the top black cards, while the black card applied for by Wei Jingxiong can only be regarded as a mid-level black card, which cannot be compared with the black card of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country. This kind of world-class black card is mostly invitation-based and you cannot apply for it on your own. Why has the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country assigned a butler to Chen Fan now? What's going on? Is it possible that Chen Fan has some important cooperation with the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country? Wei Jingxiong and Mr. Lu were a little confused. On the other side of the phone, after hearing Chen Fan's words, the man assured. Yes, Mr. Chen, if you have any instructions later, you can contact me at any time. As long as you ask, our bank will do its best to meet any request you make. After Chen Fan had a brief chat with the other party, he hung up the phone. Seeing this, Wei Jingxiong couldn't wait to ask. Mr. Chen, what is your relationship with the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country? Why did they assign you a butler? Because I am a black card user of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country, nothing special. Chen Fan answered calmly. What? Wei Jingxiong could no longer sit still. Even Mr. Lu, who had been very calm, was dumbfounded. Mr. Chen is a black card user of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country. Wei Jingxiong was extremely surprised. This is not a special reason. This is too special. There is not even one black card user of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country in their Jiangzhou city, let alone in their entire Zhonghai province. But now Mr. Chen told himself that he himself was a black card user of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country. This identity was too impressive. Not to mention that I haven't applied for my MasterCard black card yet. Even if I did, I'm still not as good as others. In an instant, Wei Jingxiong felt ashamed. He just wanted to show off his wealth in front of others. How ridiculous. Chen Fan must have tremendous financial resources to be able to become a black card user of the First Royal Bank of the Oil Country. Wei Jingxiong was filled with emotion. Otherwise, let us just forget about the Wangang Pavilion matter. The black card users of the first royal bank of the oil country are definitely not to be messed with. Wei Jingxiong looked at Mr. Liu meaningfully. Mr. Liu understood what Wei Jingxiong meant, but he still didn't want to give up and was unwilling to do so. Finally, Mr. Liu made a decision. He wanted to test Chen Fan one last time. If they find out that Chen Fan's strength is really terrifying, they will admit defeat. Mr. Chen, the boss is very grateful for your visit to the boss's manor. May I ask where Mr. Chen lives? Next time, we will also visit Mr. Chen. Mr. Liu asked politely. Naturally, he didn't dare to ask Chen Fan directly about his strength and how much money he had, so he could only find out from the side. He could tell a lot from where he lived. I live in Villa number 8 of Yujing Villa. Chen Fan answered casually. Villa number 8 of Yujing Villa? Wei Jingxiong and Mr. Liu's faces changed drastically. They have heard that the owner of Villa number 8 in Yujing Villa is an extremely mysterious big shot. I didn't expect that the mysterious big shot was actually Mr. Chen in front of me. That's awesome. Mr. Chen actually lives in Yujing Villa. He is really young and promising. I admire him so much. Mr. Liu stood up and said respectfully. At this moment, he no longer had any intention of testing Chen Fan. In Yujing Villa, who holds the black card of the first royal bank of the oil country, is not someone he is qualified to test. Mr. Chen is amazing. Wei Jingxiong couldn't help but speak. Even he envied Chen Fan's two identities. At this moment, Wei Jingxiong no longer dared to underestimate Chen Fan. Wei Jingxiong personally poured tea for Chen Fan, no longer showing any trace of bossy attitude, and acted as if he wanted to treat Chen Fan as an equal. Suddenly, the system's voice came. Bite. Accept Wei Jingxiong's invitation and go to his manor for tea. Congratulations on obtaining 8% of the shares of Tongfei Group. The share purchase contract has been placed in your Villa study, please check it. Congratulations on obtaining 51 experience points. The mission was accomplished, and 8% of the shares of Tongfei Group were successfully obtained. At this moment, Chen Fan already had 20% of the shares of Tongfei Group in his hands, and 1/5 of the Tongfei Group belonged to Chen Fan. With the completion of the task, Chen Fan's net worth has successfully exceeded the 7 billion mark. It seems that Chen Fan is not far from becoming a billionaire. Afterwards, Chen Fan chatted with Wei Jingxiong for a while, and Wei Jingxiong warmly invited Chen Fan to have dinner at his place tonight. Sorry, Boss Wei, I have other plans tonight. Chen Fan spoke apologetically. He is going to meet with Jiangzhou, the largest shareholder of Tongfei Group tonight, and the other party seems to have something important to discuss with him. That's a shame. Next time, Wei invites Mr. Chen to have dinner here. I hope Mr. Chen will not refuse next time. Wei Jingxiong spoke with a bit of disappointment. When Chen Fan was about to leave, Wei Jingxiong took the initiative to add Chen Fan's contact information. Wei is still quite powerful in Jiangzhou. If Mr. Chen has any problems in the future, you can contact me. Wei Jingxiong deliberately showed his goodwill to Chen Fan, obviously wanting to make friends and get closer to Chen Fan. Thank you, Boss Wei. Since the other party was so polite, Chen Fan naturally had to be polite as well. Never underestimate the influence of a Jiangzhou boss. In the end, Wei Jingxiong personally escorted Chen Fan out of the manor. Chen Fan had just walked out of the manor gate when suddenly, a dark shadow pounced on him. Chapter 29 Dimensionality Reduction Attack. Just when Chen Fan and Wei Jingxiong thought they had encountered an assassin and were in danger, a funny scene happened. My idol, I finally see you. The black shadow that rushed over fell directly to the ground, hugged Chen Fan's thigh, and spoke excitedly. After seeing clearly who the chubby person hugging Chen Fan's thigh was, Wei Jingxiong spoke. Zhu Hongyi. Hello, Boss Wei. Zhu Hongyi turned around and greeted Wei Jingxiong, but still hugged Chen Fan's thigh. Zhu Hongyi, are you from the wealthy Xu family? Chen Fan looked at Zhu Hongyi. Yes, idol. Zhu Hongyi looked at Chen Fan with admiration and nodded repeatedly. What idol? You get up first. Chen Fan spoke. Chen Fan felt very awkward when a man hugged his thigh. Good. Since his idol had spoken, Zhu Hongyi immediately stood up and straightened his clothes. Hello, idol. I am Zhu Hongyi, a descendant of the Xu family. I admire you very much and want to be your younger brother. I hope you won't refuse. Zhu Hongyi spoke seriously. Be my younger brother. If I remember correctly, you should be with Chen Yitsue, right? Chen Fan spoke. He had just seen Zhu Hongyi and Chen Yitsue together. Idol, I was fooled by that green tea girl Chen Yitsue before, so I didn't recognize the real man and offended you, idol. I'm really sorry. Zhu Hongyi bowed to Chen Fan to express his apology. Please accept me as your little brother. Zhu Hongyi said sincerely. Seeing this scene, Wei Jingxiong next to him had a higher opinion of Zhu Hongyi. This kid has good vision. Now he knows how to get close to Mr. Chen. He has good vision. Be my little brother. I don't plan on taking in any younger brothers for now. Chen Fan refused. He didn't know this Zhu Hongyi. He was with Chen Yitsue just now and was even a direct member of the wealthy Xu family. If a person like this suddenly wants to be your younger brother, who knows what his purpose is or what he is thinking? After being rejected by Chen Fan, Zhu Hongyi suddenly became depressed and felt extremely disappointed. Chen Fan said goodbye to Wei Jingxiong and left. The only ones left at the place were the distraught Zhu Hongyi and Wei Jingxiong. Looking at Zhu Hongyi's appearance, Wei Jingxiong couldn't help but say, "Boy, you have good vision and know how to get close to Mr. Chen, but you want to be his younger brother, but you just say it, without any action or expression. When you visited me before, you always brought all kinds of expensive gifts. Now you want to be Mr. Chen's younger brother, so just say this. Others may give you face as a descendant of the Xu family, but your identity is worthless in front of Mr. Chen." After hearing what Wei Jingxiong said, Zhu Hongyi suddenly realized and understood. Indeed, he wanted to be someone's younger brother, but he just said that, why should others agree to him? I must do something to get my idol's approval, only then will my idol accept me. Thank you, Boss Wei, for your reminder. Thank you. Zhu Hongyi bowed to Wei Jingxiong, then left happily. Since there is a conflict between the idol and the Chen family, Zhu Hongyi knows very well what he should do. This kid has a future. Wei Jingxiong muttered softly. On the other side, Chen Yitsue also returned to the Chen family, wanting to ask for help from other members of the Chen family. But when Chen Yitsue came this time, she still didn't see Mr. Chen. Uncle, where is Grandpa? I've been here several times, but he's never here. Chen Yitsue asked a slightly plump middle-aged man in the Chen family with doubt. The slightly plump middle-aged man is named Chen Jinping. He is the fourth son of Mr. Chen and one of the core figures of the Chen family. He is very much loved by Mr. Chen. Oh, your grandfather and your uncle went out of town for work. It will probably take a few days for them to come back. Chen Jinping spoke. You went out of town. Chen Yitsue felt a little disappointed. By the way, Yikui saw that you seemed to be in trouble, what happened? Chen Jinping asked. Oh, fourth uncle, I just ran into Chen Fan again. I wanted to discipline him, but he slapped me in the face. Chen Yitsue spoke embarrassedly. It's that little bastard Chen Fan again. Chen Jinping's face darkened. How about this, Yitsue, you go find Xingrong and ask him to come forward and help you vent your anger. By the way, let Xingrong severely punish Chen Fan and make him go back and marry the young lady of the Xu family. Chen Jinping spoke. Chen Xingrong, the eldest son of Chen Jinping, is the best among the younger generation of the Chen family. He ranks among the top few among the more than 10 young people of the Chen family. Chen Xingrong is tall and strong, nearly 1.9 meters tall, and has good skills. He is currently one of the leaders of an underground force in Jiangzhou. He has nearly 100 younger brothers under him and is doing very well. Let brother Xingrong come forward. Hearing her fourth uncle say this, Chen Yitsue suddenly became excited. You and Xingrong should try to solve the problem of that little beast Chen Fan as soon as possible. When your grandfather comes back in a few days, give him a surprise. Chen Jinping spoke. Of course, his main purpose was to let his son show off in this matter and win the old man's attention. Chen Jinping is still very confident in his son's methods. Using his son's ability to teach Chen Fan a lesson would be a dimensionality reduction attack. Okay, fourth uncle, I'll make a note of that. Chen Yitsue nodded. If brother Xingrong shows up, Chen Fan will probably be scared silly. After saying that, Chen Yitsue left excitedly and went to find her cousin Chen Xingrong. 20 minutes later, Chen Fan arrived at Wangang Pavilion. Today, Jiangzhou, the largest shareholder of Tunfei Group, invited Chen Fan to dinner in a private room in Wangang Pavilion. When Chen Fan arrived, Jiangzhou and Jiangzhou's confidant, Xingder, now the president of Tinfei Group, were already waiting there. After the two sides got to know each other, Jiangzhou went straight to the point. "Mr. Chen, do you know that you have offended Feng Yanli?" "Did you offend Feng Yanli?" Chen Fan raised his eyebrows. He really didn't know this. Jiangzhou asked Xingder to explain the whole story to Chen Fan. "This morning, Feng Yanli came to see me and wanted me to cooperate with him to deal with you, Mr. Chen." Jiangzhou added. "He wanted me to join forces with him to kick Mr. Chen out of the company." "Really? Then what is Mr. Jiang's plan?" Chen Fan asked back. "Jiangzhou suddenly came to see me and took the initiative to tell me the matter. He definitely had ulterior motives." "Har har har, Mr. Chen is indeed a smart man." Jiangzhou laughed. "I do have other ideas. Feng Yanli and I have always been at odds. Instead of working with Feng Yanli, I would rather work with Mr. Chen." "But..." Jiangzhou suddenly stopped talking halfway, and then looked at Chen Fan meaningfully. Chapter 30, The Board of Directors begins, Top Financial Management Skills emerge. "But what?" Chen Fan was not in a hurry to express his opinion. That Feng Yanli wanted to deal with him and kick him out of the company. If it was true, he would definitely not let him go. Chen Fan is not a kind-hearted person who allows himself to be bullied. But now Jiangzhou just said this, and Chen Fan was still not quite clear about Jiangzhou's purpose. Just then, the system's voice came. "Bite. Temporary mission released strike back at Feng Yanli, give him a taste of his own medicine, kick Feng Yanli out of the decision-making level of Tinfei Group, and let him shoot himself in the foot. Task reward, top financial management ability. Task reward, 53 experience points." Huh. Looking at the system rewards, Chen Fan was overjoyed. Wow, this system is really user-friendly. Previously, I felt a little regretful that I couldn't get the top financial management skill because I could only choose one skill from the any skill selection card. He just prayed that the system would have top-level financial management skills later. Unexpectedly, today, the system would show the top financial management skills that I had been looking forward to. The system is really great. Now, it is even more impossible for Chen Fan to let Feng Yanli go. But I don't know Mr. Chen's thoughts and abilities. Jiangzhou spoke. "Just talk to Mr. Chen. I currently own 22.5% of Tinfei Group's shares, and Feng Yanli owns 20.3%, which is not much different from me. And I heard that Feng Yanli is also buying out the shares held by those small shareholders. He is coveting the position of the largest shareholder of our group. I have no conflict with Mr. Chen, but I do have a conflict with Feng Yanli. Instead of helping Feng Yanli deal with Mr. Chen, I would rather work with Mr. Chen to kick Feng Yanli out of the company. This is enough to prove my sincerity." After listening, Chen Fan nodded. He roughly understood what Jiangzhou wanted to do. "Of course, I have conditions for doing this. I hope Mr. Chen can agree to it." Jiangzhou added. Chen Fan had expected Jiangzhou to say this. Why would anyone help him if there were no conditions? "Explain." Chen Fan spoke. "After Mr. Chen and I team up to kick Feng Yanli out of the company, I will also fire all of Feng Yanli's confidants. At that time, Feng Yanli and his confidants' positions in the company will be vacant, and I will arrange for my people to take over." Jiangzhou went straight to the point. Anyone who can become Feng Yanli's confidant must be a senior executive of Tinfei Group. Jiangzhou plans to take this opportunity to put all these important positions into his own confidants to make it easier to control Tinfei Group. When the time comes, I hope Mr. Chen can support me at the board meeting. "I agree." Chen Fan nodded. Chen Fan himself was not interested in these positions at all, and even if Jiangzhou didn't say anything, Chen Fan would not interfere. Mr. Chen is really straightforward. Jiangzhou was overjoyed and stood up to shake hands with Chen Fan. "Okay, happy cooperation." Chen Fan also stood up. Both parties reached an agreement. After finishing his meal, Chen Fan left. On the way, Chen Fan planned to make a backup plan just in case. Thinking about it, Chen Fan took out his cell phone and made a call. On the other side, in Zuixianlu, the owner of Zuixianlu, Luo Jixin, looked at the two middle-aged men in front of him with a gloomy expression. These two middle-aged men were the ones he arranged to go to Wangang Pavilion to cause trouble yesterday. There was no news yesterday and Luo Zhixin thought something had happened. But when he asked around, he found out that these two guys and the bodyguards he sent were all sent to the police station by the new boss of Wangang Pavilion. He used his connections and finally got these people out. What do you do for a living? How come you can't even do such a small thing? Luo Zhixin angrily questioned his useless subordinates. Boss Luo, there's nothing we can do. Don't you know that the guy has received an invitation letter from Boss Wei Jingxiong? Moreover, he is on his territory. Even if we fight, we are no match for him. Several men answered helplessly. An invitation letter from Boss Wei Jingxiong. Luo Zhixin couldn't sit still any longer. Are you kidding me? Is the new boss of Wangang Pavilion trying to curry favor with Wei Jingxiong? Is this true or false? Luo Zhixin asked cautiously. Of course it's true. It was said by the lobby manager of Wangang Pavilion himself. Supplemented by subordinates. What? Did the lobby manager of Wangang Pavilion say that? Luo Zhixin expressed deep doubts. What if they are using Wei Jingxiong's name to scare you? Did you see Wei Jingxiong's men come to Wangang Pavilion to deliver the invitation? Luo Zhixin asked back. That's not the case. The men shook their heads. Fuck, you losers, you got fooled. In a rage, Luo Zhixin rushed forward and kicked these useless men hard several times. He guessed that this invitation letter from Wei Jingxiong should be from the new boss of Wangang Pavilion. In order to scare his subordinates, he asked his lobby manager to say so. The other party just wanted to borrow Wei Jingxiong's reputation to bully others. Sure enough, these losers were fooled. But boss, what if it's true? We can't afford the risk. The subordinate replied. Luo Zhixin calmed down and thought that it made sense. If it was true, even if the possibility was only 1 in 10, they couldn't afford the risk. After all, if they offend a big shot like Wei Jingxiong, they'll be finished. Someone, prepare a car for me and go to Fengqiao Village district. Luo Zhixin shouted loudly. He has the support of a backer to get to where he is today. Now faced with this situation, Luo Zhixin had no choice but to go to his backer, Fan Hongkai, chairman of Jiangzhou Fan Group. This is a big boss whose status and position is not inferior to Wei Jingxiong. The driver went to prepare the car, while Luo Zhixin took out a brocade box from the safe with a painful look on his face. If you ask for help from others, you must not come empty-handed. If he really didn't dare to gamble on the relationship between Wangang Pavilion's new boss and Wei Jingxiong, he would not have asked Chairman Fan for help. As long as he has the support of Chairman Fan, he will not be afraid of Wei Jingxiong. By then, Chairman Fan can involve Wei Jingxiong, and it will be a piece of cake for him to deal with the young boss of Wangang Pavilion by himself, right? A few minutes later, Luo Zhixin went straight to Fengqiao Village district. A new day arrived. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Chen Fan set out and headed straight for Tingfei Group. On the other side, Feng Yanli, in high spirits, had already arrived at Tingfei Group in advance, ready to attend the board meeting. Today is the day he will kick Chen Fan out of the company and fulfill Mr. Kong Baixin's request. He contacted Mr. Kong yesterday, and Mr. Kong promised him that as long as he could teach Chen Fan a lesson and kick Chen Fan out of the company, he would help him become the largest shareholder of Tingfei Group. Today is the day when he will step on Chen Fan and soar into the sky. The more Feng Yanli thought about it, the more excited he became, and his body couldn't help but tremble. Just then, one of Feng Yanli's confidants suddenly came over and whispered something in Feng Yanli's ear. In an instant, Feng Yanli's expression fell. Chapter 31. An accident occurred. Chen Fan and his team are at a disadvantage. Is what you said true or false? Feng Yanli asked seriously. Of course it's true. I'm very sure that Jiang Hao and Chen Fan had dinner together at Wangang Pavilion last night. This is what the driver of Jing Xingder, who I bribed, told me. Feng Yanli's confidant nodded confidently. Damn it. Feng Yanli slumped down on the table, extremely angry. Fortunately, I kept a trump card, otherwise I would have been tricked today. Feng Yanli sneered. Although he was angry, he was not discouraged at all. He was worried about accidents, so he made some special arrangements yesterday. Fortunately, these arrangements he made yesterday have now become his greatest reliance. That bastard Jiang Hao actually went to look for that Chen Fan. Feng Yanli sneered. At the most critical moment, Jiangzhou suddenly went to Chen Fan in private to have dinner. What else could he do? It must be that Jiangzhou wants to turn against him and join forces with Chen Fan to deal with him. Unfortunately, no matter what agreement Chen Fan and Yu Jiangzhou reached, it will all be in vain. The final winner will still be me. Feng Yanli spoke confidently. These two are just clowns. Come on, follow me to set up. After saying that, Feng Yanli left with his confidants to make other arrangements in order to deal with the joint efforts of Chen Fan and Jiangzhou. Time passed little by little, and at 9:30 in the morning, all shareholders and executives of Tinfei Group had gathered in the large conference room of Tinfei Group. Jiangzhou arrived first, followed closely by Feng Yanli and his men. After seeing Jiangzhou, a strange smile flashed across Feng Yanli's face, but he did not attack him directly. How's it going, Mr. Jiang? Are you all here? Feng Yanli asked. Most of them are here, only a few shareholders and executives are unable to come because they have something else to do today. Jiangzhou spoke. Feng Yanli glanced around and nodded with satisfaction. It's just a few people short, it doesn't matter. At this moment, the executives and shareholders in the audience were whispering. The group's high-level meeting had just been held not long ago, so why was it suddenly held again today? What happened? Everyone, please be quiet. I know you are all curious as to why a high-level meeting was suddenly called today. I will tell you now. Feng Yanli said loudly. The entire conference room immediately fell silent, and everyone looked at Feng Yanli curiously. Today, we have gathered everyone together for the purpose of. But before Feng Yanli could finish his words, Chen Fan arrived. This is Mr. Chen, the third largest shareholder of our group, right? Looking at Chen Fan, Feng Yanli sneered and said, then he turned his head and looked at Jiangzhou. Mr. Jiang, what do you think? You and Mr. Chen should be very familiar with each other, right? Jiangzhou spoke with a guilty conscience. What do you mean? What do I mean? Mr. Jiang just had dinner with Mr. Chen at Wangang Pavilion last night. How come you don't understand what I mean? Feng Yanli questioned. After hearing what Feng Yanli said, Jiangzhou and Jing Xingder's expressions immediately changed. What's going on? How did Feng Yanli know that they had dinner with Mr. Chen last night? They were the only ones who knew about what happened last night. At the scene, only Chen Fan remained calm and did not become panicked at all after being discovered by Feng Yanli. The arrangements he made last night just in case now seemed to be absolutely correct. Jiangzhou, don't think that you can deal with me just by joining forces with Chen Fan. You are not qualified to deal with me. Feng Yanli said arrogantly. Today, I called everyone here to kick Chen Fan out of the company's decision-making level. Feng Yanli announced loudly. As soon as these words were spoken, the entire conference room immediately became lively. Kick out the third largest shareholder of the company, which is no small feat. If this matter had not been said by Feng Yanli, the second largest shareholder, they would never have believed that such a possibility was possible. Kick me out of the company. I think the one who should be kicked out of the company today should be you, Feng Yanli. Chen Fan took a step forward and confronted Feng Yanli. Feng Yang wanted to kick him, and he also wanted to kick Feng Yanli. This was the task given to him by the system. After hearing Chen Fan's words, the whole audience started discussing again. Finally, everyone at the scene looked at Jiangzhou at the same time. Now that the company's second and third largest shareholders are fighting each other, it becomes very important which side Jiangzhou, the largest shareholder, stands on. I agree with Mr. Chen's opinion. Kick Feng Yanli out of the company's decision-making level and no longer participate in any company affairs. Jiangzhou stood up without hesitation. So what if he was discovered by Feng Yanli? Everyone expected Jiangzhou to stand on Chen Fan's side. After all, Jiangzhou and Feng Yanli were notoriously at odds with each other. Just when many people at the scene thought that Feng Yanli was destined to be a loser, Feng Yanli laughed arrogantly. You and Chen Fan want to kick me out of the decision-making level and the company. Do you have the strength to do that? You, Jiangzhou, own 22.5% of the company's shares, and this Chen Fan only owns 12%. Together, you only own 34.5%, less than 50%. You still want to kick me out of the company? Just dream on. It's only 34.5%. We do not even account for 50%. But you only have 20.3%. What qualifications do you have to be so arrogant? Jiang Hao asked Feng Yanli back. What qualifications do I have to be arrogant? I'll tell you right now. Feng Yanli turned around abruptly, looked at the other shareholders present, and asked loudly. I declare that Chen Fan will be kicked out of the decision-making level and kicked out of the company. Who supports this? I support that. In an instant, 3 or 4 small shareholders stood up. Seeing this scene, Jiang Hao sneered. These people are all Feng Yanli's confidants. All the shares added together only account for 2.7% of the shares, which is not important at all. At this critical moment, the company's 4th largest shareholder, Fang Lei, who has always been neutral, suddenly stood up. I support Mr. Feng's suggestion to kick Chen Fan out of the company. Fang Lei holds 10% of the company's shares, so his stance is very important. Seeing this, Jiang Hao was confused. When did Feng Yanli convince Fang Lei, the neutral party? Fortunately, even if Fang Lei and others are included, Feng Yanli only has 33% of the shares, which is less than them. Jiang Hao was just about to breathe a sigh of relief, but then something even more unbelievable happened. I also support Mr. Feng and kick Chen Fan out of the company. And me, I also support Mr. Feng. Immediately afterwards, the company's other 2 larger shareholders, Meng Dong and Dong Ziyan, stood up and expressed their support for Feng Yanli. The combined company shares held by Meng Dong and Dong Ziyan total 12.1%. With the support of these 2 people, Feng Yanli's shareholding quickly increased to 45.1%, directly crushing Chen Fan and Jiang Hao. In an instant, the situation on the scene was reversed. Chen Fan and Jiang Hao were at an absolute disadvantage, and both were in crisis. Chapter 32 Reversal. The new largest shareholder of Tinfei Group is. Jiang Hao was immediately panicked. This was bad. You guys. Jiang Hao looked at Meng Dong, Dong Ziyan and others angrily. These people were usually neutral in the company and did not participate in the struggle between him and Feng Yanli. Otherwise, Jiang Hao and Feng Yanli would not have fought to this day without a clear winner. But now, why have these 3 neutral people all joined Feng Yanli? Why? Jiang Hao felt somewhat desperate. He and Chen Fan lost, and lost completely. Moreover, with the support of these shareholders, his control over Tinfei Group will be greatly weakened by Feng Yanli, and he and Chen Fan are finished. Compared with Jiang Hao's anger, Feng Yanli was particularly happy and smiled extremely brightly. This is his trump card, and that is why, although he was angry after hearing that Chen Fan and Jiang Hao had joined forces, he was still fearless and confident. He had the support of Dong Ziyan and 3 others, so naturally he was not afraid of Chen Fan and Jiang Hao. As for how he bribed the 3 people who had been neutral for so long, the reason was very simple. It was naturally because of the help of the Kong Group. Without the help of the Kong Group, he would not be able to deal with these difficult neutral parties. With the support of these 3 shareholders, Feng Yanli has full confidence in defeating Chen Fan and others. Chen Fan, you should get out of the company now. Feng Yanli looked at Chen Fan with excitement and pride that were difficult to conceal. Get out of the company, har, just you. Chen Fan asked back calmly. Feng Yanli has a trump card, doesn't he have any more? You only own 45.1% of the shares, not even 50%. Where do you get your confidence from? Chen Fan retorted. We don't have it here, do you have it? You're talking as if you have it here. Feng Yanli was full of sarcasm. Sorry, we really have it here. As he spoke, Chen Fan casually threw a few contracts on the table. Just yesterday, I personally acquired 11.2% of the shares of Tinfei Group. Since then, I have held 23.2% of the shares of Tinfei Group, becoming the largest shareholder of Tinfei Group. Chen Fan spoke slowly. Yesterday Chen Fan completed the system task and obtained 8% of the system shares. Last night, Chen Fan was worried that something unexpected might happen today, so he contacted his exclusive butler assigned to him by the First Royal Bank of the oil country and asked him to help him contact the shareholders of Tinfei Group. He wanted to acquire about 3% of the shares of Tinfei Group. By the way, Chen Fan can also test whether what the First Royal Bank of the oil country said, that it can meet all the requirements of customers, is true and whether it is easy to use. Sure enough, the First Royal Bank of the oil country did not disappoint Chen Fan. An hour or 2 later, the bank manager contacted Chen Fan and said that they had found two small shareholders of the Tongfei Group who were willing to sell their cumulative 3.2% shares. That night, Chen Fan met with the two and formally signed a share acquisition contract. Since then, Chen Fan easily became the new largest shareholder of Tongfei Group. That is why many group shareholders did not come today. They have already sold all their shares to Chen Fan, so why would they come? He now holds 23.2% of the shares of Tongfei Group, plus the 22.5% of shares held by Jiangzhou, and the 6.1% of shares held by Jiangzhou's Confidence, which already exceeds 50%. When Chen Fan said this, their whole audience was in an uproar. What? Mr. Chen acquired 11.2% of the shares. Oh my god, I didn't expect that in the end, Mr. Chen would become the largest shareholder of the group. Everyone was talking about it. This result was something they had never expected. At this moment, even Jiangzhou was stunned. He had not expected Chen Fan's move. In just one day yesterday, Chen Fan acquired 11.2% of the group's shares, directly surpassing him and becoming the group's new largest shareholder. He had been playing tricks on Chen Fan before, trying to get Chen Fan to agree to various conditions in order to place his confidence in the group and control the company, but in the end, all his efforts were in vain. As for Feng Yanli, after listening to what Chen Fan said, he was stunned and completely dumbfounded. No, it's not true, this can't be true. Feng Yanli roared unwillingly. These shareholders of Tongfei Group are very stubborn and don't want to sell their shares. Otherwise, he would have acquired these shares long ago and surpassed Jiangzhou. You must be lying to me, you must be. Feng Yanli stepped forward and picked up the share acquisition contract that Chen Fan had thrown on the table with trembling hands. Feng Yanli checked every word, but the more he looked, the more gloomy his face became. Especially after he found that there was no problem with the last few signatures, Feng Yanli's face turned pale as if he had just crawled out of a grave. Feng Yanli read through all of Chen Fan's documents and found no problems. Feng Yanli stood there stiffly, his expression dull. Chen Fan walked forward slowly and stood in the middle of the entire conference room. Then he looked at everyone and said loudly, "As the company's new largest shareholder, I propose that Feng Yanli be kicked out of the company's decision-making level. Does anyone agree?" Jiangzhou hesitated for a moment, then took the lead and said, "I agree." Although Chen Fan surpassed him and became the largest shareholder of the new group, compared with Chen Fan and Feng Yanli, he was more willing to stand on Chen Fan's side. He had reached an agreement with Chen Fan yesterday. Even if an accident happened now, Chen Fan would have to give him face. But if Feng Yanli wins, he will probably be marginalized in the future, and eventually be kicked out of the company's decision-making level. I agree. Me too, I agree with Mr. Chen's experience. Seeing Jiangzhou speak, his confidants also spoke up. At this point, Chen Fan's support exceeded 50% of the group's shares. The three larger shareholders who had just announced their support for Feng Yanli looked at each other, and finally, Dong Ziyan spoke first. I take back what I said before. I am willing to agree with Mr. Chen's proposal. Me too. I agree with Mr. Chen. It is impossible to stop Chen Fan now, Feng Yanli has already lost. The conditions Feng Yanli had proposed before were no longer valid, so they might as well be fence-sitters and do Mr. Chen a favor. Including them, the support rate on Chen Fan's side directly exceeded 70%, and Feng Yanli failed completely. I now announce that more than 70% of the company's shareholders agree to kick Feng Yanli out of the company's decision-making level from now on, and Feng Yanli can no longer participate in any decision-making of the company. Chen Fan announced the final result loudly. No. Feng Yanli roared unwillingly. The next second, Feng Yanli's eyes went dark, he fell to the ground in anger. Soon, he was taken to the hospital. After the board meeting ended, countless executives and shareholders of the company rushed up and surrounded Chen Fan, trying to please and flatter him. Mr. Chen, can you come over? I have something to talk to you about. At this time, Jiangzhou stepped forward nervously and asked in a low voice.